human on the front part, but you got a little monkey on the back.
That's what they do.
Okay.
Yep.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've never heard a peacock, so I can't dispute
You've just heard a peacock.
Did I tell you the story, though? The other morning, I was like on Caldwell Mill, and I looked over to my left, and there was a peacock on top of somebody's roof.
Get out of town.
I'm not exaggerating, yeah.
A weird thing to have on your roof.
Yeah.
When you said
and it was massive.
On top of, I didn't know where the story was going. The roof.
That's all I got.
That is trash, and this hour is always presented by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champy'schicken.com, champy'schicken.com. Sterling and the gang there to serve up a world-class lunch for you or dinner tonight at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champy'schicken.com, champy'schicken.com. Shims, I never know how to say his last name, but he's the
NBA insider for ESPN.
Insider, reporting that the Bucks have let teams know that the Greek Freak is on the trading blocks. That'll bring a pretty hefty penny, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, the second best player in their history, and, the first guy won a championship, Lou Alcindor, becomes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Giannis did the same thing. I mean, it's unfortunate for Milwaukee, but he did win an MVP, won a championship for them, and, he thinks it's time to move on.
The Greek Freak on the trading block, so I'm sure someone will come to him. TMZ has more photos of Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel touching one another, which... As Bunky Perkins points out on Twitter, at this point, they've got more photos of those two together than my wife and I do.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy
how many will not.
It will not die.
I don't know what it's going to take. A lot of people feel like it's going to be Vrabel resigning, which is never going to happen.
I just can't believe people are discussing that could happen. I mean, or that he could be fired. I'm like, are you kidding me? First of all, you think Robert Kraft is going to fire him?
No chance.
No. Secondly, he's going to resign. Why would he resign? How is this impacting his team at all?
Now, if you were just guessing, look, in everybody's relationships, I mean, there's so many layers to that. Do you think there's any chance? There it is. Do you think there's any chance that either one of their marriages survive?
Well, I don't. The things that have come out on her, like the stuff she says about her husband.
Yeah.
Him, maybe. I don't know. I hope they do. I don't
Rossini was making, I found this out Friday.
$1
million a year. Now, her husband makes more.
What's he do?
He's like the second chair for Shake Shack.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, he kills it.
Yeah.
But boy, I mean, I think based on where this thing has gone, I think a lot of people are going to lose a lot of respect for him if he doesn't tap out.
LA Times reporting that USC and Notre Dame actively discussing resuming the rivalry. We showed the USC schedule earlier, and one reason they didn't have one released from the school is this game left a gap in their schedule that they're having to fill.
It's going to seem weird once we get there and that game's not played.
Yeah. Hopefully coming back one day. That game's one of the fabric of football games, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying you got to watch USC Notre Dame, but there are some historic games that sport is built on, and I'd say that's one of them.
Oh, it is.
USC Notre Dame has been a long-time game.
Yeah,
I don't see it go away.
In most of your great rivalries, I mean, it's about geography. It's about border states. It's about in-state.
That's the true national rivalry.
It really is.
Yeah, that's the only one we really have. All right, that is going to do it for the show. Dunaway will be back tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on everything. A new Next Reel will be dropping in the next 48 hours. Also, Last Call with Jake and Mick. That'll be coming up soon. And then don't forget the
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Spring football meetings have started around the globe. We'll get to the SEC later this month. The ACC ongoing at Amelia Island. Always sounds like a beautiful place to go to. We'll hear what Dabo and Notre Dame and some of the other folks at the ACC meetings are talking about in a second. Steve Sarkisian with some wonderful comments on a variety of different things. To Matt Hayes, USA Today. We'll get into those comments. But everybody for about 24 hours now talking about Lane Kiffin's comments to Vanity Fair and the contributing writer there, Chris Smith. Everybody's had a chance to look at it now. Just a brief overview, Brown, if you will, of what he said. He was talking about diversity and recruiting problems that he faced at Ole Miss that he doesn't think he's going to face at LSU. Is that a fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment. He went on to say, at least in the part Vanity Fair tweeted, that he had many players tell him they really like him, but their grandparents wouldn't let him come to Oxford, Mississippi. Lane got the important part out first, that people really like him, as a narcissist does. But this is just amazing.
I've never seen anything like Lane Kiffin, at least at the coaching level, at least this public.
Yeah. Just going, blowtorch after an opponent like this.
Well, I mean, look, and it's not an opponent. It's somebody that gave him the opportunity to get to where he is right now.
Yeah.
Somebody that paid him millions and millions of dollars and put him in this situation to be able to take the LSU job.
He goes on to say they have a problem at Ole Miss of distancing themselves from the Confederate flag, Colonel Rebel, and the nickname Ole Miss. I will tell you that Vanity Fair contributing writer Chris Smith was on Feinbaum's show yesterday, and he said, I never asked Lane a question about this directly.
Yeah,
he offered this up independently to him in his interview with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, so like Nick Saban was always the most calculated and would tell his stories through the media. Lane Kiffin does the same, but it's idiotic stuff. And it's always self-serving when it comes to Lane Kiffin. It's not about the program. It's not about the kids. Immediately when I saw this story, it broke at the end of our show yesterday. Brooks came in and told us about it. The first thing I went was to Ole Miss's roster last year and went white-black. Simple as that. Out of 111 players, how many do you think are white?
I'm going to say 11.
Well, it's not that far, but it's 32, 79 to 32. 71% of his roster was black.
Yeah, okay. I feel like outside of the HBCUs, that's probably a normal roster.
Yeah,
that'd be my guess. I would, I'd have to go count every roster. Some are going to be heavier one way or the other, but I would say that's probably your average roster. If I had to guess. Wouldn't you guess that? 70-30, basically?
I would say yes.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. That's your average.
Yeah, so I don't think it has any factor at all.
When this is almost, let me use an analogy here. This is like Shane Gillis, who I don't know if you guys think Shane Gillis is funny. I just picked a random.
He's great. I will tell you, I tried to watch Kevin Hart roast.
There was some funny stuff from it, though. I've seen some of the stuff that's come out.
The Tom Brady thing was so bad, I had to shut it down.
That roast felt mean-spirited.
Yeah, it did. I would agree. If Shane Gillis decided to run for president, you would struggle to take him seriously, right? Because he's a comedian. He's like, I know I joke a lot, but let me seriously talk about the Iranian conflict.
Jesse Ventura was a governor.
He was a wrestler and ran for governor, and people struggle to take him serious. So that's my analogy here with Lane Kiffin. If everything you do is a calculated shot at someone or a chance for you to get a recruiting advantage, I can't take you seriously when you talk about stuff like this that only looks like you're trying to get a recruiting advantage.
Yeah.
Or take a shot at a former employer that you got bad blood with. That's who you are. So it's hard for me to read this and put that aside and say, okay, maybe Lane Kiffin's being genuine for once in his life here, and he saw some racial injustice at the University of Mississippi, and he wants to publicly call it out now that he's not there. I can't give Lane that benefit of the doubt because that's not how the guy always operates.
Yeah, to your point, it looks like he's trying to sink the ship of another SEC football program in recruiting and benefit his place after all the years have come to the SIP, which he made famous, right? He coined that phrase, come to the SIP, where he was trying to get recruits to come there. And now he's basically trying to torpedo going to the SIP and now saying LSU is a more diverse place is going to help him land the best of the best because of the diversity of the city of Baton Rouge, which I forget the numbers he throws out there, but he throws out that I think the numbers he used in Baton Rouge, there are more African Americans, blacks in Baton Rouge than there are whites, and he was trumpeting that diversity.
Would love to see where he lives.
Exactly. What does his neighborhood look like?
That's right.
He actually said this less than 12 months ago. July. Here's what's going to happen. I was telling this to Forrester. Lane now being on the record saying something like this, there are going to, at some point, there will be a photo of Lane eating breakfast somewhere in Oxford, and he doesn't know it, but there will be a painting over his shoulder, or he's going to be at a hunting club or somebody's house, and there's going to be a painting over his shoulder that he didn't even notice. But it's going to be something from the Civil War or something that's going to come up.
In Baton Rouge?
Yeah. No. When he was in Oxford. So you had no problem when you were a coach at Ole Miss taking millions of dollars of associating with these people. But now you're going to call him out. You know, he's going to be at a hunting club that's going to have a rebel flag in the background, and he's going to be there drinking, you know, a cold brew, and he had no problem with it then. But now he's because people are going to start going through their time with Lane Kiffin and seeing what he said or what he did or who he associated with or what he was doing when he was in Oxford. This is SEC Media Days just this last year. Oxford, Mississippi, the place he's painting now in poor light, meant a lot to Lane Kiffin back on July 14th, 2025.
It's just been an amazing experience, and I just have so much appreciation. I'm not saying this coming to head coach. I don't give you coach speak. The people of Oxford, and then when you lose your parents and you see how they are and how they help take care of them towards the end, or how much they really cared about them, it opened my eyes to a totally different way. It's basically I went to Oxford, had this view. Then I got kids there, so then I had a different view as a parent there, and how awesome a community is to raise your kids in and to have them go to college and high school around these families and really take care of everybody. Then you see your parents at the end and lose your parents, one kind of expected, one unexpected, and to see how the community is around that, I owe so much to Oxford and the people there. It's just been awesome.
A great place to raise your kids. No blacks around. And once I'm an empty nester, boy, I tell you what, I can move on and change jobs. I mean, he is just an idiot. An absolute freaking idiot.
So disingenuous. I mean, that was less than a year ago.
Hey, let me ask you this. Who had the
he
biggest voice on that campus for the last 5 years?
It was Lane Kiffin. He could have called this out.
Yeah, if there's a problem, be the leader of men and call this out. Hey, we've got a problem here.
That's right.
And let's take care of it. Even if he doesn't do it publicly, internally, hey, look, there's a situation here. It's hurting my recruiting.
He was the most powerful man in the whole state, not just on that campus. Just the same way Nick Saban was as the Alabama coach. If Nick Saban saw something in the state of Alabama he wanted to call out, he had more power to call it out than Kay Ivey. Lane Kiffin has more power as the Ole Miss or coach to call something out than I can't even remember who the Mississippi governor is right now. You've got the most power. You're the strongest voice in that entire state. Call it out.
I think the laziest label for a man is a narcissist. Brown used it, so I'll stick with it.
I mean, Lance,
I think for women, it's, hey, they're crazy.
Yeah.
But look, he has no gratitude at all. From Tennessee, the Tennessee job, to the Ole Miss job, he is an ungrateful guy. Ungrateful people are self-centered, they're entitled, and they're narcissists.
Lance,
and if you know ungrateful people, move away from them immediately. They're the worst type of people out there. That is an ungrateful guy.
I use narcissist because he literally had a quote that said, I had players tell me all the time, Coach, we really like you, but we can't live.
He's the definition of it.
I mean,
hey, and I wonder on his Joey Freshwater, how many times he swiped right or left or whatever it is for a black girl. I really wonder.
I mean, you're right, Dunaway. It's kind of like Vrabel and Rossini. Like we had another photo come out yesterday. People are just going to start digging like, oh, I got this photo here, and I didn't think anything of it then. Now it's got some meaning.
Give me cut number 2, Tyler, if you will. This is off of...
that's his man, Ben Garrett.
Yeah, this is Ben Garrett. Ole Miss Spirit on 3 with our buddy Brad Logan over there. They're talking to Tracy Ivan Muhammad, whose son, Jared, played at Ole Miss for Lane Kiffin for 3 years. Do you know how many times Lane Kiffin spoke to Tracy in Jared's 3 years at Ole Miss?
Probably when he was recruiting.
Yeah,
That's the only time I would say.
After signing, we probably are not playing this cut unless the answer is 0.
Yeah.
One time. Lane Kiffin talked to Tracy one time. Here's Tracy Ivan Muhammad on 3 OM Spirit with Ben and Brad.
As far as my experience with Ole Miss, so when Jared decided to go on the portal, when Ole Miss was the front runner, he says, I'm going to Ole Miss. Did I have concerns? It was Mississippi. Of course, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. It was the South. We've lived in the South. I've had a great experience at Ole Miss. Everybody was lovely. And I think I told you the story. I think it was maybe 2 months him being there that summer of 2022. And I talked to him. And after I got off the phone with him, I just felt like God came over me and said, Tracy, he's fine. I was coming up there basically every weekend for the next 3 years. I only met Lane that one time in 2022 for the initial, interview and all that stuff. We sat down one time. He's never reached out, and I know there's a lot of players and in college and in NFL, they're always recruiting, and I get it. Let's be honest. Both states, as far as voting rights, civil rights, Mississippi and Louisiana have a lot of work to do. But my experience at Ole Miss was lovely. I missed my peeps at Ole Miss. I'm looking forward to trying to get to at least one game, maybe the LSU game I'm trying to get to. So I got to see who I'm staying with because somebody going to put me up. I'm just letting you know that right now.
Hey, I'm not going to say it's not a concern. I'm sure there are parents that are concerned with this, but I would say that they probably verbalize the concern. I would think that there are recruits that he assigned that had that concern. And what's going to be interesting over the next 24 or 48 hours, Tracy Ivy is saying that she didn't have any contact. If on the other side, what you would want is other parents saying, hey, look, I was concerned going in, and Lane did call me multiple times to ask how things were going. Like, will that come up at all? We shall see.
Yeah, or
I doubt it.
Or family members who come out and say, hey, the guy's right. Lane is right. I've yet to see that. I've seen a lot of LSU people back in Lane, but I've yet to see anybody come out and say, hey, let me back the guy up. He's right. My kid was offered at Ole Miss. I wanted him to go there, and I told Lane Kiffin I wanted him to play college football. I told Lane Kiffin, Coach, I love you, but I can't send him to Ole Miss.
Yeah. There are racial concerns in every corner of the globe, and obviously the South has its history. Do you know when the Confederate flag was banned at Ole Miss?
God, it goes.
I would say 2008, 2009.
It does seem like yesterday, but it was 1983.
It wasn't banned in that student section.
Yeah. 1983.
And to Lance's point,
it
took a while to filter out.
Thing. When was Colonel Reb?
That's about when you were talking about
what you were talking about.
Yeah.
But the Rebel flag inside the stadium, 1983, 43 years ago now.
Now, maybe the cameras are just careful. But when I watch Ole Miss games, I don't see a lot of it. Do you guys?
No. Look,
maybe the cameras are just careful. I don't know. I don't go to Ole Miss games, so I can't swear to this. But I don't watch Ole Miss games. And, buddy, they were on TV a lot this last year. I don't watch them and see Rebel flags in the stands.
And by the way, the program that paid him millions and millions of dollars, I think they did what they could to disassociate. Like, I never liked the cancel culture and, getting rid of, Colonel Reb and all that kind of stuff. But they did it, right?
They did,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before Lane was ever even on campus.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing going on with Lane Kiffin and the folks at LSU and Ole Miss, and as Brown and LT has alluded to, and Miss Ivy alluded to there, that that just adds more fuel to the fire for that Week 3 matchup in Oxford, Mississippi, where if there was any love for Lane Kiffin when he came back, it just it gets almost dangerous now.
Yeah, like I don't know what he's trying to do. Like he completely torched the relationship with Tennessee. We remember how bad that situation got that Saturday night in Neyland.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea what to expect. I saw somebody put up, we're going to have to do a neutral site game, which is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
Yeah, you can't do that. I just remember, I don't know if you guys remember leading into the 2010 Iron Bowl. And I remember we were still on radio on Jocks, and we were telling people this might not be one to take the kids to. There's going to be some bad blood in this with all the Cam Newton stuff in Alabama and whatnot. man, that's kindergarten compared to what this is going to be.
Yep.
I mean, this is going to be
more intense than Saban back to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, when they burned Saban in effigy, literally the LSU fans had a image of Saban that they burned.
More intense than the last two Texas A&M showdowns.
Yeah, I haven't. Those were intense. None of that holds a candle to what this is going to be.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like there's so many good years you had, like. My years at Jocks, I started Jocks, working for Dick Broadcasting in 1998. I have never said a negative word about those guys. Like, they put me in a situation to be able to do what we're doing right now.
I think we're all thankful for what they did for us. Absolutely.
I'm thankful.
Love those memories.
It's almost like an ex-wife. Bethany did a lot for me, and I am so grateful for the years that we had. And I don't understand why you're in a situation for a long time when somebody's trying to do right for you. And again, Ole Miss paid him a ton of money, and then you don't want to burn a bridge, you completely destroy it, you blow it up.
And it adds even more to it, Dunaway, and I was unaware of this till you mentioned it, that the author told Feinbaum, I didn't even ask him that.
That's right.
He just offered this out of the blue.
It wasn't a question from Chris Smith, according to him.
Yeah.
He's not interesting enough to be in Vanity Fair.
The Vanity Fair writer asked him, he said, I did not, ask him about racial issues at Ole Miss, problems with recruiting at Ole Miss because of the racial history with the state of Mississippi. I didn't ask him about that. He offered it up independently. That from Chris Smith on the Feinbaum show yesterday. Show being brought to you today. We got one more, side swipe of Ole Miss and its academics from another SEC coach, and just a really interesting article that we'll get to in just a second after Brownie tells you about the great man that is Alexander Shunnarah and the fine work that they do at Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys.
Yeah, Alexander Shunnarah is a Birmingham guy. It's where he was born, where he grew up, went to UAB. And when it came time to start his firm, he said, you know what? I want to start in my hometown. He could have done this anywhere and been phenomenally successful. That's who he is. But he said, here's who I am. I'm doing this in my hometown. I want to take care of my hometown people. And Alexander Shunnarah has done just that. It's become a national firm. It's still based right here in Birmingham. Now more than 150 attorneys, more than 500 dedicated team members, and he's recovered more than $2 billion, billion with a B, $2 billion for those clients at Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Shunnarah.com, that is the place to go when you find yourself in need for any legal issue for an attorney. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
Also, our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, 70 years of compassionate care here in Central Alabama from UCA. 10 great locations. Find one near you today, urologycentersalabama.com, or call to make an appointment, 205-930-0920. Testosterone treatment, vasectomies, everything between prostate health and kidney stones, including a keen awareness, staying on top of your prostate health as you grow from your 20s to your 30s, 30s to your 50s, 50s to your 70s. Prostate health impacts almost every American male. At some point, early detection can save your life. Make an appointment today, 205-930-0920, Urology Centers. Alabama.com. Matt Hayes, who was on the show recently with us, great writer, USA Today Sports. This interview was on that platform. He does radio in Jacksonville, but this was a newspaper interview, online interview for USA Today, where Steve Sarkisian was asked about the state of college football. I'll just give you the headline of the story. Steve Sarkisian goes scorched earth on college football's Wild West culture. It's an exclusive interview with Matt Hayes from Steve Sarkisian. And they talk about all the usual stuff, but then they get to several things. One of them is academics in college sports now, to where Steve Sarkisian points out that Cal Berkeley is probably the most respected academic public institution in the United States. Hard to get in, hard to stay in school there, hard to get a degree from. He finds it interesting that arguably the nation's number one public academic institution seamlessly accepted 32 football players in the transfer portal, some of which were on their third school at Cal Berkeley.
So he's suggesting if you're on school number 3, how are you academically good enough or at least there's question if you're academically good enough to get in Cal normally.
His quote
would a
is,
normal person be able to do this?
It's like we've forgotten about academics, yet less than 5% of these guys will play in the NFL. And here's the drive-by on Ole Miss. Sark says, if you come out of the transfer portal to Texas, quote, we will only take 50% of a player's academic credit hours. You may be a semester from graduating, but you're going all the way back to 50% if you play here and want to get a Texas degree. But at Ole Miss, quote, they can take you. All you have to do is take basket weaving, and you can get an Ole Miss degree, end quote.
Okay.
Steve Sarkisian.
Be careful. I seriously doubt Sark cares anything about academics. This is probably unfair, so I'll throw two in there. Cam Coleman, Hollywood Smothers. Chances they're going to class.
I would. Now, they say in Austin, we go to class. That's what they say. I wonder if there's an asterisk next to that, because a lot of classes are taken online. Maybe they consider.
Well, do you think if Cam Coleman said, "Hey, look, coach, I want to come to Texas, but I'm not interested in being a student. I'm going to play in the NFL."
We'll figure it out.
I think we need to get away from going to class. Doing your academic work, I think, is
it's a fair way.
And I think the easy way now is you probably pay a student $5,000, $10,000,
but most
to
people
complete all your courses.
Most people are remote students now. You can choose to do that. Even if you're on campus, there's such diversity in the classroom that you don't have to go actually into the physical room. You can watch every lecture online if you want to. You can choose that.
Why even go to school?
Yeah.
Well, some don't. Some do it remote.
Yeah, some to play football. And that's where, see, to me, this is not Sarkisian caring about academics. This sounds to me, and I don't hear him say it. It's written, and you read it in a tone where he might not have said it, right? And that's the problem with a written interview, is I read it in a tone in my head. And to me, reading what he told Matt Hayes sounds less like he's trumpeting the academics of Texas and more like he's frustrated that he's got to climb through loopholes that Ole Miss and Cal apparently don't.
I mean, we heard this for years with Notre Dame. I just didn't think it really existed anymore.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with you, yeah.
Yeah, because I think, not going to class makes it easier to cheat. I mean, how easy would it be to get a student, hey, that needs money, hey, here's $10,000, you take all the classes online?
We point it out all the time. When is the last time you've heard of a player being academically ineligible?
Years.
I mean, I honest to goodness do not remember the last time a player's been academically ineligible. So something has changed.
There is more from Sark in this story. Matt Hayes, USA Today. I've retweeted it from my Twitter X account. You can go check it out. When we do our next segment, I want to get into his thoughts on the playoff selection process, the playoff selection committee, and the way he would do the postseason playoffs. I find that the most interesting part of the story, and we will get that coming up in the next segment. One more thing to get to in our opening segment here today in our college football discussion, brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV Center. Johnston RV Center helping you see America here in the summer of 2026.
Indeed. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. That's where you find Johnston RV Center. Fifth wheel's huge in America right now, so they know that. They got plenty to choose from at Johnston RV, but they know not everybody wants a fifth wheel. So you know what else they got? 300 additional types of RVs, other RV types, right there on both lots. So you got plenty to choose from. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, johnstonrvcenter.com. And do not forget that every single thing you buy there that is new or qualifying pre-owned is covered by RV Warranty Forever. Lifetime warranty on those items, new or pre-owned, that qualifies right there at Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, GM. Alabama pick up another football recruit yesterday. 4-star linebacker Kenneth Simon, 6'2", from Brentwood, Tennessee, picks Alabama over Georgia, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Interesting here is that Kenneth Simon's dad was a NFL drafted linebacker from Tennessee back in 2006.
Tennessee legacy, huh?
A Tennessee legacy. You can almost picture Simon being in the back of that white jersey with red letters,
yeah.
Orange jersey, orange letters, or white jersey, orange letters. what I'm saying there. But Simon, the linebacker back in the early 2000s, his son coming to Alabama from Brentwood, that commitment yesterday. A couple of college football announcements. You guys have already gone over the whole Friday night lineup. No surprise with a couple of Fox announcements yesterday. One of them is the big game, Michigan and Ohio State at the end of the year, announced on the Fox up front. It'll be 11 a.m., 12 Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. That game seems like traditionally,
I think it's their first bit.
Always there. And I think it's been played 2:30 one time during our time together.
Lance says that it went 2:30 against that Iron Bowl, the time, the sack game where Brody got sacked.
It did. It was 2:30 for sure, because I went to that game and I was, that was the one thing I was like, why am I missing this Ohio State-Michigan game?
Which is why I didn't go to the game. I wanted to see that Ohio State-Michigan game is number 1 versus number 2.
Yeah.
But they like it at 11. They want it at 11.
Yeah, that's the people want it, and Fox has no problem putting it at 11. And also, no surprise here, but the Week 2 game of Michigan hosting Oklahoma is going to be a 12 Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Oklahoma-Michigan on Fox game as well. So that game is locked in now on Fox. A great Friday night lineup on Fox that you guys talked about, and those two marquee games involving Michigan slotted for the 11 a.m. Central kickoff on the big noon kickoff with our buddy Joe Klatt and company. I'm trying to think if was there any more football announcements there of TV times that you guys have not covered. I do not think that is the case. When we come back, the other half of that Sarkisian story that I just found so interesting. And it's his thoughts on the playoffs, what is soon to be a 16 or most likely a 2014 playoff. He has a thought on the problem with that and why that shouldn't be the number. Sark talking to Matt Hayes of USA Today when we come back on the show, being brought to you by our friends at Central State Bank Brownie.
That is the bank that is big enough to meet every single need you have, everything from buying a car to starting your own business, but they are also small enough to know you. They live in your community. They work in your community. They go to church. Their kids go to school. They go to the same ball fields you do. That's because this is a community bank. The people that are making the decisions are the people that you're living with every single day, and that's huge for you when it comes time to choose a bank. They aren't just opening accounts at Central State Bank. They are opening relationships. So be one of those relationships with Central State Bank. Founded in the community, building relationships every single day. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777, or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office is Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Indiana made the trip to the White House yesterday, where Kirk Cignetti gave President Trump a Indiana jersey number 47. Championship trophies there at the White House. And there's the president walking with currently considered to be arguably the best coach in college football, Kirk Cignetti.
Cheerleaders got to go.
Yeah, man, they took everybody.
Big Ten budget, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people making the trip there in a good time, and the president reading through the championship run that Indiana put together and commented about the 38-3 win, and the president turned to Kirk Cignetti and said, wow, that's impressive, and Cignetti replied, roll tide. Good moments there at the White House. Always fun to see the champions roll through to meet the president and stand in the White House. More on that postseason upcoming and the changes that are happening in just a second. Kalshi, though, can get you ready for NBA playoffs tonight, but also the PGA Championship, the next major, where Scottie Scheffler is a favorite for the 14th straight major in a row. He's either been the favorite or co-favorite for 14 straight majors. He's that way today at Kalshi as well.
Yeah, look, you can take a position on Scheffler, any of these guys in the field for the PGA. Obviously, as Dunaway said, we've got a big game in the Western Conference tonight with the T-Wolves and Spurs. Take a position there. You can also take a position on things from aliens to politics, pop culture. It's all available at Kalshi. First thing you need to do, download that app. Once you do that, put in the code TNR. When you trade $10, you're going to get $10. And Brown, it's legally available in all 50 states.
All 50 states. And as Jim said, right now, Scottie Scheffler at 17%. Rory McIlroy, the second favorite there at Aronimink, 8.9%. Cam Young, he's been red hot, 6.5%. You can play all those guys or any guys right there at Kalshi, Kalshi.com. Take your position. Use code TNR, and you get $10 on your first $10 position. So that's a little bonus to you. It also helps us when you use code TNR, so we appreciate that. Make sure you get the Kalshi app, Kalshi.com, code TNR, $10 on your first $10 position.
Hey, before we get back to the Sark comments, the official numbers, and stop me if you guys talked about it on my days away, the fiscal earnings from each FBS athletic department's numbers came out?
We talked some about SEC revenues, but not just overall.
Okay, so the fiscal 2025 year in the books, And this is the revenue. Now, this is not profit. This is how much was generated. And Texas leads the way with $343.1 million of revenue generated by Texas athletics.
That's in the entire country. They're number one, not just
They're
the
number
SEC.
one in the entire country.
Yeah.
Ohio State is second. Now, $343.1 million for Texas, and I don't think they in the fiscal 2025 they didn't get the full allotment from the SEC.
No.
So they did okay.
That's it.
Ohio State is second. Just look at the gap here. $343.1 million for Texas, $295.2 million generated for Ohio State second.
Yeah, pretty significant.
That's a big drop. Notre Dame is third at $289.6 million of revenue generated. Tennessee fourth, by the way.
That's surprising.
I am surprised by that.
Really
I would agree.
$285.3 million. Now follow this drop from fourth to fifth. Fifth is Penn State at $254.3 million. So just from Tennessee at $285 to Penn State $254. Alabama is sixth, $244.5 million there. That's almost $100 million. Am I right about that difference between number one Texas and number 6 Alabama?
Yeah, pretty big gap between 1 and 6. That is a lot.
Yeah, $10 million from 5th to 6th between Penn State and Alabama. If you're wondering, Auburn is 15th in the FBS, $205.2 million in revenue generated in 2025. In the top 10, Notre Dame's an independent. There are 4 Big Tens and 5 SECs in the top 10.
That part there is not surprising at all. It is funny, though, the people that bang the old Notre Dame should join a conference, and Notre Dame's like, explain to me why.
Yeah.
I'm third in the nation in revenue, and I control every dime of it.
Right.
I don't have
Why?
Yeah, I don't have to worry about anybody else.
Higher than everybody, but the best in the SEC and the best in the Big Ten. $4 million over the second most producing team in the SEC in Tennessee, and a big chunk more than the second producing team in the Big Ten. So Notre Dame is healthy and they're fine, and that's some of the revenue numbers. Now, you spend money as well, and that's where you get to your gross profits and things like that. And I think, if I remember correctly, Ohio State had the most profit at $60 million, and it was either them or Texas at $60 million. So the profit margin, not nearly as much. You're spending almost as much as you're taking in major college athletics.
Don't we all, though? It's just real life.
Yeah, they're all living paycheck to paycheck.
That's right.
All right, back to the Sark story after I remind you our buddy Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing can help you right now get a roof inspection. Little sunny skies today, but the storms will roll back in. So remember stormrestorationroofing.com. Remember the name, Greg from Pell City, stormrestorationroofing.com, or this number, 205-542-3531. I hope you never have roof damage, ever, ever, ever. But you live in the South with the heat, the wind, and the storms, chances are good you're going to have roof damage at some point. And you can get that easily corrected. The number I would call before I even called my insurance guy would be Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531, because he can help walk you through the process and get you ready to go and talk to your insurance provider. He actually will help you with your insurance as well. He'll give you a free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531, free no-cost roof inspection. That means that he'll get up on your roof and let you know if you've already been damaged up there, if there's a loose shingle or something that could cause major problems. Home repairs, roof repairs, and roof replacement. He does it all, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned. Greg from Pell City, stormrestorationroofing.com. Back to Steve Sarkisian's story with Matt Hayes, USA Today. And Sark went on after talking about academics and athletics and the spending. I mean, everyone's talking about the spending and how it's all off the rails. Every coach is talking about that. It becomes redundant to me. But the playoffs and our pursuit to expand to 24 here soon, Sark has a real problem with us still using a selection committee. And I sort of agree with him. And he makes this point to Matt Hayes, USA Today. The committee doesn't have the bandwidth to watch that many games. They see the media and the coaches poll and they copy them. You've got a 12 12-team playoff, and that means there are at least 30 teams that impacted. Now all of a sudden you want to go to 24. Now the polls become an even greater factor because now you're asking members of the committee to watch 40 teams a week, if not 50. It's just not possible to do that. He goes, I'm a football junkie. When we don't play, I'm watching Quad Box because it's what I love. But I can't keep up. I don't vote in the coaches poll anymore because it's not fair for me to vote. I couldn't tell you how NC State played against Wake Forest. How could I know? And he goes on to say, we need more of a computer metrics back basically to the BCS rankings. Now, college football executive director Rich Clark has clapped back. I can assure you they watch the games, says Clark. They have iPads. They have access to all the games to watch anytime they want on their convenience. Impossible for them to watch as many games as you need to watch.
Well, I mean, maybe for them, I don't know. I mean, I know me and Brown, and I think you do, and you don't go to games. I mean, I watch a freaking ton. I'm just saying, I think you could put together a committee. I don't have a problem with the computers, by the way, just for the record, but I'm saying I think you could put a committee together if you paid them that actually would take their job seriously and actually, be really good at it.
I have a lot of games on. I focus. See, this is the way I focus on my main game. I see the big plays of the other ones. Like when the main game is in a timeout or a dead ball, I'll glance over and I know what the score is. I may watch a play here, play there. But when I glance over and see a big play, I'm like, well, what just happened there? And I'll rewind that specific TV to catch up what I missed on. Like, how did Michigan just get in the end zone? Was there a pick six or what?
I'm the same way. I focus on one game. But, if there's a big moment in the other one, it draws me in, a big attention, big part of the game, that kind of stuff. He brings that up. He goes, I'm not talking about watching highlights, which is basically.
That's kind of what I do now. When a game gets close at the end, like if I've got a game, TV 1 that's in hand, TV 2 is getting close, I swap and I'm going to see the end of the game live, but that's only a portion of the game.
His point was, Brown, that when it was a 14 playoff, it was a smaller number of games you had to watch.
That's right.
And now that it's 12, he goes, now you're going to 24. How many games do you have to watch each week of teams that are involved in making it into the 2014 playoff? I mean, that fractions out as you go on. Almost, you got to watch almost every game for a while.
Obviously, computers aren't watching the games, but when it gets to 24, it's so oversaturated. Just let the computers do it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where Sark's angle was on this. Was there anything to last year? Like if we looked at the BCS rankings, would Texas have gotten an at-large at 9-3 last year?
I doubt it because I think the selection committee has pretty much mirrored what the BCS would have been.
Mario Cristobal is a friend of mine, says Steve Sarkisian to Matt Hayes, USA Today.
And when it starts like that, you know what's coming up.
And they had a tremendous season. Miami lost to 2 unranked teams last year. What would their record have been if they played our schedule? What would our record have been if we played theirs? But their scheduling inequity. Cristobal responded to Matt Hayes when he was told about this. We beat 3 SEC teams we played, including the team Texas lost to. That was Mario Cristobal's answer.
That's a good clapback.
Yeah.
I love we're friends, but.
Yeah, that's the way it always goes.
And here's the playoff scenario. Brown, did you have one more point?
Well, I was just to answer Lance's question. The BCS last year, here I'm just going to do the bottom part. Notre Dame 9, Alabama 10, Miami 11, BYU 12, Vandy 13, Texas 14. So it would not have benefited. So Sark is saying this about something that actually would not even have benefited them at all last
and then
year.
if I'm looking at the computer, I'm like, how does Vandy in front of Texas?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's the playoff scenario that I think I would be okay with this. The semifinals may be lackluster, but I think I'd be okay with this. And this, you lose the group of 6 here, and it would force Notre Dame into joining in the conference, which isn't going to happen. But Sark believes that he thinks we should go back to a 4-team playoff, and you have your own conference playoff to get to your team in the 4-team playoff. So that would provide the revenue that you need. The SEC would have its own tournament to get to a 4-team playoff, to their representative into a 4-team playoff. The Big Ten would have their own tournament to get to a 4-team playoff. The Big 12 would do whatever they want to get to theirs, the ACC to theirs. He does not address what he would do with Notre Dame here.
Tricky. They're tricky.
If we were coming up on the close of the 20th century, I would say this probably makes sense. But I don't know in today's world if that makes sense at all.
I mean, it would be fun.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes the two best teams are going to be out of the Big Ten. Two best teams are going to be out of the SEC. I would rather see the two best teams play for a national championship.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you don't get in the NFL. The two best teams, in my opinion, was Seahawks and Rams.
Yeah, your NFC Championship game was your best game.
And so sometimes you would get the Big Ten championship game at the end of the tournament would be
your two best teams.
Or the SEC championship would be the two best teams.
So is he? I mean, I don't know how in depth he goes, but is he saying every team would just have two teams play? And then that representative go, or could they do four?
However they wanted to do it. He says, if the SEC wanted to have their top four teams and they could play back-to-back nights in Atlanta and Nashville or whatever, and then they'd have a championship game somewhere else, and then they'd go on to the 4-team playoff at that point.
Don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like back-to-back games on a Saturday. The next Saturday you could have the
your standalone championship. Yeah, don't hate it. Yep. Don't hate it. Again, Notre Dame's an issue here. You got to figure out what to do with them.
But basically it's the playoffs. It's just you control it all within your own conference.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, you're going to have SEC versus SEC or SEC versus Big 10 or Big 12 or whatever. When you work through the bracket, this is just making the bracket an SEC region, a Big 10 region, a Big 12. It actually is probably more of an access to the semifinals than the Big 12 or the ACC deserves, relatively speaking.
I'll give Sark credit. It's an idea I haven't heard yet. I thought I had heard every possible idea. I don't think I'd heard that one yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
That was creative by Sark.
And one more thing here from Sark. And our Innisfree countdown to kickoff, by the way, sits at 109 days. 109 days until week 0 of college football. That is not that long. We're flying towards the start of college football season.
We brought it up yesterday. The halfway point was Sunday. 111 since the last game, 111 until the next game. Sunday was our halfway point.
Your game day tradition is Innisfree Irish Pub in Tuscaloosa and Lakeview. Irish-inspired pub food, the signature Irish gold sauce, and always a world-class atmosphere. At Innisfree, your Innisfree countdown to kickoff, 109 days to week 0 of college football. The other thing he brings up, he's like, it was just 2013 when he was at USC. He goes, it was just 2013 that we still had rules in place that you couldn't give a player an excessive meal, but you could provide a snack for them, right?
Right.
Because it was illegal benefits. So Sarkisian came up with an idea to buy a peanut grinder because you could give the players a bagel, but you could not provide any cream cheese, jelly, peanut butter, lox, peppers, any of that, because that made it an excessive meal. You could give them a plain bagel. That was the NCAA rules. So Sark came up with a peanut grinder. You could give the players peanuts. Then they put it into the grinder, and it grinded it into peanut butter that they could spread it on their bagels. And he goes, think about where we are today. He goes, that was 2013. That's not that long ago.
A decade ago.
And then I get to Texas in 2021. Now we've got the NIL. We've got the portal. We're paying players millions of dollars. And I'm sure you guys talked about this with Jeremiah Love, right? Did y'all talk about Jeremiah Love?
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love says, my $53 million rookie contract, I'm not going to touch it because I come from the NIL era. I don't need that money yet. I'm doing just fine.
I say we talked about it. I actually forgot to bring it up on the show yesterday, but I did tweet about it over the weekend. Like, everybody lines up to take shots at transfer portal and NIL. Let's don't pretend like there aren't some good things to it. And one of the good things is this, like Jeremiah Love is in a situation we always say, man, I hope these guys don't blow their payday in the first contract. And he's literally saying, I may not even have to touch my first contract. I made so much in college football. It is a luxury, but it never happens without NIL. And these are the things we used to beg for. We used to beg for these players that are rookies. Please don't blow through your rookie contract and go broke. And now here's a guy, because of a new system in football, that gets a lot of shots taken at it. It does have some positives, and that's one of them. He's made enough at Notre Dame that he's like, I may be able to bank my entire rookie contract. Imagine that. Yeah. That's going to be a heck of a contract, by the way. What is that,
53 million is what was reported. That
so
I don't plan on touching my $53 million contract.
So 53 after, his agent cut and
he's probably
federal government
30
cut.
plus.
30 million that supposedly he's going to be able to just put right in the bank, 30 million.
Yeah. Because according to reports, he has between $2 million and $4 million net worth right now.
Yeah. Good for him. That's great. Take advantage of the system.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be making $1 million, like in the worst possible scenario of interest, $1 million a year.
Exactly. I mean,
he could just live on his interest.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's a man. Well, I mean, he can do with his money what he wants, but I would love to see him be a man of his word and not touch a dime of that, not go buy the Maseratis and the mansions.
Coming up later in the show, Clay Travis at the top of the hour. And then after Clay, we'll have our 4 downs. We'll get to what's being said at the ACC meetings in Amelia Island and all of that. By the way, before we get into our viewing menu today, brought to you by our friends at Michelson, the NCAA sent a letter out when we're talking about NCAA. Forrester got a kick out of this. They sent and can I get Forrester's microphone here? The NCAA sent a letter out, and the Division I Oversight Committee, a letter out to baseball coaches, questioning and warning them not to cancel midweek games here the last couple of weeks of the year. Forrester, explain to people what this is talking about and why some programs cancel games, those midweek games this time of year.
Well, a lot of teams are on the bubble. There's a bubble in college baseball too, and teams, whether they're on that bubble or whether they don't want to hurt their current standing, seeding, they're canceling baseball games.
So this would be the equivalent of Kentucky, I think, is one you gave me.
It is.
Playing a midweek game against a Northern Kentucky, a Kentucky State, or somebody like that, or Transylvania, and that being a lower, it's going to hurt your strength of schedule.
Even with a win.
Even with a win.
Yeah.
Just playing the game could hurt your schedule and make you fall off the bubble. And so they're warning, stop doing this.
So Kentucky blamed it on travel issues, right?
Yeah. Tell us, Forrester.
Kentucky got so much crap about it that they actually had to put a statement out about it. Say, theirs was, they faced multiple extended delays over the weekend, extension of travel days, blah, 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 blah. East Carolina canceled a game against Campbell. East Carolina is very much a bubble team. Oregon canceled 2 games against Grand Canyon is number 212 in the RPI. Oregon's really good. They're not going to miss the tournament, but
right.
A win doesn't do them any good. A loss definitely hurts them. They canceled 2 games against them.
NC State, North Carolina A&T.
Wow.
Boy, if I was a committee member, like if you win these games and it doesn't hurt you, it's one thing. But if I'm a committee member, if you're tapping out to tap out just because you're afraid you're going to lose these games,
yeah, I'm with you.
That would affect, how I put these teams in the field or not.
Well, I mean, it's the computers. Like number 34 Miami said it canceled a game against 219 FIU due to overnight conditions that made its field unplayable. For no details were given to what happened.
Crash Davis got out there and set the sprinkler system on.
Overnight conditions. So, I mean, it's happened here. I don't know if I know Alabama has done it in the past. I'm sure Auburn has too. It's happened where you get to this point. Maybe you have a tired arms. You have a freshman injury that you can't pitch anybody on a Tuesday, and you don't want to play the game at Samford or at Alabama State or wherever, or host those teams, and you cancel it. I've seen them add games late too, Forrester. I've seen them add a game late with somebody
Auburn
like
JSU tonight. It's going to be that's a big one.
Big game when you play a team like Jacksonville State.
Yeah,
Jacksonville State is really, really good.
Yeah, they're
projected
really good.
as a 2 seed right now. Auburn's projected, of course, as a host and a 1 seed and a national seed. And Alabama's projected as a host team, a top 16 seed right now. And we're about to do a NCAA tournament that, unless something magical happens in Hoover, LSU will not be in it. And is there a chance Vandy will not be either?
I think Vandy's got to win the whole thing to get in.
LSU, who everybody was telling me in the offseason would have the highest NIL in baseball, they're not going to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that's insane to do that.
That is absolutely insanity. All right. Viewing menu brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, the phone call I made way back in 2003. If you wear contacts or glasses, you are wasting money each and every year. Again, speaking from experience, did it for about a decade, wore the contacts, pain in the ass, taking them out. at the end of the day, putting them back in the next morning. Make the phone call that I made. Ask for Amy, 205-969-8100. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. $0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Alrighty, so last night I went to the mystery movie, Caught Tuner. It's a heist movie about a piano tuner who discovers he's pretty good at safe cracking because he's used to listening out for the specific tones.
Wow.
I told you, I'm very excited about this movie. It's been on a watch list for like 6 months because it was released. It's a Canadian film, right? Yep. Released internationally months and months ago, and I guess the wide release is going to be the 26th. I reached out to you yesterday. I was going to come see it. I couldn't make it, though.
Yep. If you want to hear my thoughts on the movie, you'll have to wait until the next reel.
Okay.
That episode will be dropping tomorrow afternoon. I'll be reviewing Tuner as well as going through Lance and I's favorite what we think the best movies from various directors are. We're going to talk the best Christopher Nolan movie, best Quentin Tarantino movie, David Fincher, Scorsese, all the greatest directors. We've also got a new release on Netflix today. Marty, Life is Short. It's a documentary on the beloved comedian Martin Short, using beautiful, intimate, never-before-seen archive footage alongside exclusive interviews with some of the most established and beloved stars. The film takes a look at one of the most influential comedians of a generation. So, if you're a big Martin Short fan, you can get into more of his life on Netflix.
Well, I never have thought of him in those terms, though.
Yeah, I've always liked Martin Short more than Steve Martin.
Okay.
You might be in the minority.
Yeah, I think I like Steve Martin more. Yeah,
I've never been a Steve Martin fan.
Yeah. Disney Plus has a new release for all the Marvel fans out there. The Punisher: One Last Kill. Frank Castle, played by John Bernthal, tries to live a life without the need for revenge as the vigilante Punisher, only to be drawn into an unexpected conflict with a rising criminal empire. All the Punisher stories seem to be he's retiring, he's done, then something happens, and he's pulled back in. And this time it will bridge into the new Spider-Man movie because he will be popping up in that later this July.
Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded just like the movie.
Yep, it was spot on. And then finally, if you don't want to mess around with any streaming services or hit the theaters today, you can go to BBC America at 6 p.m. and watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And then Spaceballs immediately after. Both great movies. Both have John Candy as well.
Yeah. I've seen both of those. You always shake your head at the ones I haven't seen. I've seen both Plane, Trains, and Automobiles and Spaceballs.
So you've seen Spaceballs,
and
but
not
you
Star Wars.
And not
yes.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now that's in the minority.
That's
true.
odd.
Yeah. But it does track with me, though, right? I mean, that tracks with me.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Because I also imagine, like, when you've mentioned you like Family Guy, I imagine that's a similar experience because it's so reference heavy, but you haven't seen anything they're referencing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen enough of the pieces of Star Wars to piece together Spaceballs. Not exactly a deep plot there.
Pizza the Hut is the best.
Pizza the Hut is very good, yes.
And that's all I got.
And that's what Tyler is watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. By the way, you can watch the Braves on TBS tonight. Cubs and Braves in Atlanta. The Cubs are 27-14, second best record in the National League behind only the Braves, who are 28-13, the best record in the National League, both slightly better than the Dodgers right now. In between that, by the way, the 27-13 Tampa Bay Rays.
How about your Rays?
Off to a really good start. But Cubs and Braves, 6 o'clock tonight on TBS. As we head to break here, Clay Travis is next. The show being brought to you by our wonderful friends at Hoover Toyota, where yesterday Brown was giving you the Hoover Toyota drive-in. We'll have a chance to hang out with the folks at Hoover Toyota a little bit this week.
Yeah, looking forward to Hoover Toyota's big golf tournament tomorrow. So we'll have an opportunity to see Scott, Harold, Kim, all the fine folks out there. If you are in the buying market right now, new or used, they have got you covered. On-site finance department is fantastic. The inventory is some of the best in the state. They've been serving the Birmingham area for over 20 years. They've got that red carpet program. They want to keep you as a customer for life. I'm speaking from experience. Bought multiple cars there over the last couple of years. Absolutely loving the Toyota experience. To view their inventory, stop in, see them. Beautiful location, Highway 150, or online, hoovertoyota.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next round shirts, next round hoodies, and next round hats are all in one place. Nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing next round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite next round gear by visiting Nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big next round fan in your life at Nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing next round gear from Nextround.store.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2, Clay Travis will join us here momentarily. This part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie and her board-certified team will help you out. You go by there or go online to her website at planforme.com or stop by her wonderful location here in Birmingham. And you get an opportunity to find out all the things on the menu there. They can help jumpstart your weight loss, from injection therapy to meal replacement. I eat these protein bars that prevent me from bad snacking. All of that, you can get details at planforme.com. No contract, no sign-up fees. First consultation is free. And that's when you sort of meet Leslie and find out all the things she can do for you. Guys, it works. I promise you. and it's a easy way to maintain your weight loss as well. Way to Wellness, a planforme.com. It's your journey to healthy living.
Clay Travis joins us this time each week, founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well. He's with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. What is up, Clay? How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Ole Miss is not. They keep taking strays. It started with Lane Kiffin yesterday in the Vanity Fair interview, which I know you have seen. Here's what I would say, Clay. I don't know that Ole Miss has any more of a racial issue than any other Southern school. But when Lane Kiffin says that, I can't take him seriously because Lane, everything he says is a shot at someone or something to try to get a recruiting advantage. I can't turn that off and just say, okay, this time he's being 100% genuine.
Yeah, I also think it's strange that Vanity Fair is doing an article about an SEC football coach. I mean, just from that perspective, can you guys remember Vanity Fair doing profiles of any SEC football coaches before?
I can't remember a time I've looked at Vanity Fair, to be honest.
Yeah, like if it was Nick Saban, if it was the greatest to ever do it, and like the economic impact on not only college sports but an entire state, I understand it. But Lane Kiffin, it's just another example of a guy. Look, and he did a really good job at Ole Miss, Clay. But I mean, this guy is always like on third base before everybody else.
Well, look, I think partly the decision to do the interview with Vanity Fair is a little bit of a PR mess that they decided to do that. By which I mean, if you do an interview with ESPN or you do an interview with Fox or heck, you do an interview with me and Outkick, you kind of know what questions you're going to get. It doesn't surprise me that Vanity Fair would decide, of all the things they could be asking Lane Kiffin about, hey, let's dive into the racial dynamics of Ole Miss, because the audience that reads Vanity Fair, which is a, to be fair, super elite, fashion heavy East and West Coast conglomerate viewership, readership, that's the kind of thing I think they would ask. Because they're not going to ask Lane Kiffin about things that I think, thank you, that most people in the world of SEC football would care about. And so he's gotten himself into trouble. I would bet sorry guys, man, that's a little bit aggressive from him. I would think that he just kind of walked into this and it's more aggressive than maybe he anticipated the question. And he could have easily diffused it and said, what is the truth? Everybody wants to go to SEC schools all over the country because of the white-hot nature of partly football, but also just the culture of the South. It's super popular on TikTok. It's popular on Instagram. And he could have turned the question into a positive. So I don't know who preps him. I mean, Lane Kiffin doesn't do interviews for a living, but it sounds bitter he could have taken that question and led it to a place where the answer is actually a very positive one. Instead, that one answer is going to overshadow everything else in the entire article.
Well, the first thing I did, Clay, is I went and broke down the roster from last year. And, the roster that Lane assembled, the roster that actually got him to a college football playoff, was 71% black. And, and now this is really going to get dissected. Do you think people are going to know where Lane Kiffin lives in Baton Rouge, where he lived in Oxford? You think he lives in the hood, or you think he lives in the whitest of white neighborhoods?
Well, yeah, I mean, he lives where rich people live, right? Which would be probably in both Oxford and in Baton Rouge, way whiter than any other race. But I think, again, it's just kind of needless. It feels like a question that would have been asked and answered in the feature of a piece 20 years ago. And certainly 40 years ago, it would have been a story. I just don't really think it is now. And look, I haven't looked at the overall student body percentages, but some people have shared, you guys can do a quick search on this, that Ole Miss has one of the largest black populations of any SEC school. And certainly Mississippi, I would think, of most southern states, has one of the highest black percentages on the planet. So I think a lot of people of all different backgrounds take pride in Ole Miss, took pride in the fact that they had the best season since Archie Manning was playing for them. And it just feels like one of the nastiest divorces we've seen in the modern era of college athletics, and there's been a bunch of them. And I can't even imagine now. I mean, you thought Lane Kiffin coming back to Knoxville when he was coaching was a tough scene. I can't even imagine what Oxford's going to look like when LSU rolls into town next year.
Lane Kiffin was interviewed by Vanity Fair contributing writer Chris Smith, who says he offered up this information independently, that the interviewer Chris never directly asked that. Lane has issued a statement now. I really apologize if anybody at Ole Miss or in Mississippi was offended by my comments. In a 4-hour interview, I was asked a lot of questions on a lot of things, and Ole Miss has been wonderful to me and to my family. I was asked questions about the differences in recruiting, and I said a narrative that was battled there from some out-of-state black parents and grandparents was not wanting their kids to move to Mississippi. That's a narrative that coaches have been fighting forever. It wasn't calculated by bringing it up. That from Lane Kiffin at this hour. You bring up the game. Before we get to the game, Clay, in September, we will do the SEC Spring Meetings down in Destin near your second home, and you've been to these meetings many, many times. Chris Lowe brings up 2009, Urban Meyer and Lane Kiffin with the late, great Mike Slive actually cursed at the two of them, and Mike Slive never cussed and had to sort of stand between the two. How tough could it be at these spring meetings for Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding or the ADs or anybody else from Ole Miss? You've been there before.
I mean, I think it could be really toxic. Greg Sankey's going to have his hands full. By the way, I don't know if you guys have even talked about this. It's smaller scale by far, but Steve Sarkisian also teed off on Ole Miss in an interview where now this, I think, is, a little bit closer to fair game for sure. But he said basically, hey, we have to go to school here at Texas. You can get a degree in basket weaving or whatever without going to class at Ole Miss. And so for 24 hours, if you're Ole Miss Crisis PR, you weren't necessarily anticipating that you would be in this position, but everybody just decided to tee off on Ole Miss. Look, I think my take on this in general, if Lane did a 4-hour interview with Vanity Fair, 4 hours, you are giving, and this would just be my position on this no matter what, and I've written long form profile pieces of people before, but I would want the entire transcript of everything I said and every question I was asked published, because otherwise you're giving the person who writes the profile 4 hours, guys. You can take 8 quotes from somebody in 4 hours, and it can be completely not representative of what they really said or how the conversation was going. And you could be taken completely out of context, which is why if I'm going to give somebody 4 hours, I mean, heck, I will sit and do a long form podcast. I mean, I'm interviewing with you guys. I do a lot of interviews, but I don't like when people can just clip a small part of what I say and make an article about it, right? If it's out of context, right? If it's in context, that's fair. But if he talked for 4 hours, they probably, I haven't, counted the amount of quotes, but a tiny pinprick of what he actually said to Vanity Fair ended up in the article. If I'm going to do a 4-hour interview, I want my full message to get out. Now, maybe there's other crazy stuff Lane said that didn't get in the article too, but I just think that's a mess. And he should have known better. And whenever you have to put out a statement apologizing for what you said in an interview, it's a sign that things did not go well.
Claire Travis is with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. Sark took shots at Ole Miss academics and Cal, by the way, in which he called the most academically prestigious public university in America. Vanderbilt is not public, but they are academically prestigious. Do you think they have lowered standards to let players in the transfer portal era?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. I mean, speaking broadly,
yes.
I think the answer's got to be yes.
I mean, I know Diego Pavi was grinding.
I mean, it's got to be yes.
I don't know, but I know that Vanderbilt has players that have to go to class. I would say in general, there's no way that any school that is accepting transfers is putting the transfer classes through the same thing that a normal transfer student would go through. And I've said this before, if you go to transfer schools, anybody out there listening who's ever transferred schools, getting your credits to transfer is one of the most difficult things possible, such that oftentimes it's very hard to graduate in 4 years if you go from one school to another. Now, I'm talking not junior college, right, or community college that's intended to be a 2-year program where you go to a 4. I'm talking about you go from one 4-year institution to another. It's almost impossible to transfer and graduate. And I said this on your program recently. Nobody gets academically ineligible now. When's the last time you remember a guy missing a game?
Yes.
And yet we have guys who are on campus for only 4 or 5 months, and then they're going to a new school, and somehow they're all eligible and they're all passing the hours. I just think across all of college athletics, there's basically a recognition that we're going to pass everybody. A lot of these guys don't go to class at all. I think the number of schools, it used to be a big deal. You guys remember this when coaches would say, hey, we've got monitors. Not only do my guys have to be in class, they have to be sitting on the front row prepared to do all their work. And I look at it now, and it just feels like there's almost no academic requirements at all.
Back to Kiffin real quick. I thought he did a really good job last summer of humanizing himself, with the sobriety and doing the sit downs. And it seemed like for a minute he had matured. I guess this is an example of, the real person's going to come out sooner or later.
Yeah, I think that's true. And look, I think from Lane's perspective, all he cares about is winning football games. I mean, I think that's the reality. And you saw that when he left Tennessee after a year. You saw it in the way that, he's a great coach, but I think that over time, he has got a lot of baggage that comes with being a great coach. And if he wins at LSU, nobody's going to care at all about that. If he doesn't, then it's going to be a mess. And what I would say is this. There was a way he could have left Ole Miss and gone to LSU look, they're never going to be happy about it, but he could have managed it in a better way than he did. And now he's put a big target on himself because there are a lot of people that legitimately do not like him at Ole Miss. And I would imagine that that's going to create continued issues off the field for him going forward.
Indiana was at the White House yesterday. I have 2 questions. One, where do all the jerseys and gifts the president ends up getting, where do they end up? And 2, because President Trump was both the 45th and 47th president, will he have 2 presidential libraries?
I think he will have 1 presidential library. I'm up in D.C. right now. I was at the White House yesterday for that event, so I think they all end up in the presidential library is the answer. And I don't know what percentage of them end up viewable. I've been to Bill Clinton's presidential library. I think that's the only presidential library I've been to in Little Rock. It was cool. I mean, I remember being impressed. And even in Dixieland Delight, there was a section I wrote about where there were letters and articles, and some of the stuff was from Nolan Richardson that he had written to Bill Clinton because he was Nolan Richardson was a Arkansas Razorback basketball coach, as people remember, and Bill Clinton was a big Arkansas Razorback fan. They won a national title in that era, and people may remember Bill Clinton going to those games. Here's a fun one. You guys like to do hypotheticals. I think I put it out and said, hey, what was more likely if we had been in 2012? President Trump becoming a politician and being elected president, or Indiana winning a national title in college football?
Trump. Trump, easy.
Okay, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
What would a parlay on both of those have paid out at?
Astronomical.
Right. I mean, it's hard. There's only, from 2012 to now, there's only been 3 presidents. So there's very low chance, right, of anybody winning that office. And then you combine it with Indiana being at the time the worst major college football program. You know, and I was talking about this in Europe. Remember Rory McIlroy's dad famously bet on his son to win the British Open? You guys remember that story? And when his son was like 12 and got crazy odds, you can bet on anything like that. I wonder if you could have set a parlay on president and national title celebration, what the odds would have been. It had to be like 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah, probably. Hey, just because you're so involved in politics and you do like TV and movies, the most realistic political show out there, you know, I mean, going back to the day you had West Wing, House of Cards, Veep. I mean, from what you've been around, what is the most realistic?
Yeah, I would say it's probably somewhere between West Wing and House of Cards. I mean, Veep is one of the funniest shows that we have ever seen. I mean, it's just absolutely hysterical. And there is some element of that in just the degree to which these guys are stage managed and the degree to which the staff obsesses over everything. There are lots of so-called Veep moments where they have these public events and somebody says, oh my gosh, I can't believe candidate X did Y. But I would say it's not as, I mean, you know, I don't think it's as diabolical as House of Cards, but I don't think it is as idealistic as the West Wing. So I would put it somewhere between those two. And, you know, if we're talking cinema, at some point, the Trump era cinema, from everything that happened, people will not believe all of this era ever occurred. You talk about COVID, the shooting at Butler, Pennsylvania, coming back, winning re-election. All of these things are going to be maybe not even in the lives of anybody right now because it'll still be feeling so close. But I think 20 years from now, 40 years from now, some of these stories will be incredible.
Clay clearly has never seen Paradise, where the president has to move to an underground city. That one's the most realistic to me.
He's got his pilot's license, too.
He's got his pilot's license. Clearly, you've never seen that one.
My wife actually likes that show, I think, right? It says it's very good, but I have not seen it, no.
Very realistic.
Yeah. I do wish it was more like West Wing.
What, the actual... Yeah.
Yeah, both parties working together. In the end...
Super idealistic.
Yes,
I will say, I think there is way less conspiracy outcome events and way more just incompetence. You know, I don't think there's some magic, incredible wizard who's behind the scenes pulling the threads on all these stories. I think very often, for good or ill, it's just a guy or a gal making a decision, and we'll see how it plays out. I think that's one of the toughest things.
Are you going to get updated on the alien files? Where are we on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had Tim Burchett on, who's a congressman, and I asked him 1 to 10 when everything comes out, 1 being, you know, not much of a news story, 10 being a holy crap. He said it's going to be a 10.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Good.
He came on the show and told us that, and I think he tweeted it's going to be a holy crap. So, so far I haven't seen anything that's crazy, but I take him at his word as someone who's on those committees that has seen some of this take place.
And don't let him go missing.
Clay Travis, that'll be what you watch for next. Clay Travis with us. Clay, have a great week. We appreciate the time as always.
All right, appreciate y'all.
All right, buddy, take care. Clay with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And the show brought to you today by LancesLock.com. We got a Game 5 tonight. I told you about that Cubs and Braves series. You can get all the plays at LancesLock.com.
Yeah, huge Game 5 tonight, Minnesota and San Antonio. We've got that side up and available. We've also got 2 Major League Baseball plays. Jump on board, win with us. Free play every single day at LancesLock.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Temperature in the house this morning?
Well, if it was 58 yesterday, Lance says it's down to 58 degrees.
60 this morning.
It's a heat wave.
My poor dogs, man, like they are like pigs in a blanket, rolled up in blankets on the couch. I got to physically get them up to get them out. But Hemp Hill has the HVAC dialed in right now. It's going to be really hot this weekend. It's going to be in the high 80s. Whether you experience any problems with the cooling, plumbing, heating, our friends at Hemp Hill, they're the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for any any and all of these issues, home or business. Call 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
By the way, we get word yesterday that the first Thursday night game on Prime will be Lions and Bills, which will be their Week 2 game. There's no Prime game in Week 1. And Brown made a point that'll be the first game in the Bills' new stadium.
Yep.
Yeah. And the new Highmark Stadium.
Go on and put that total, one of the highest in the NFL probably this year. That total will probably come 52, 54.
So you expect a high-scoring game, yeah. I mean, that's the way those two teams play.
You know, Troy Aikman's in studio right now with ESPN, and they're showing the favorites to win the Super Bowl. And I saw Buffalo was up there. The lines aren't up there. Buffalo's fourth shortest favorites, 10-1 right now. I think people are probably sleeping on Detroit this year a little bit, just because they took a couple of steps back last year.
First Monday night game announced yesterday, still breaking on the Get Up show this morning. Chiefs and Broncos in Denver, and Brown made a great point about that game.
I mean, that tells me the NFL thinks Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes are going to be healthy, right?
I would think, but
Bo
Bo
Nix
Nix
you want
just
that on your first Monday night?
Just had his second ankle surgery.
It was a cleanup.
Yeah.
It's an issue that's going to stick with Bo for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any way you would want backup versus backup on the first Monday night game.
Who is the Kansas City backup?
Oh,
we know it's Jarrett Stidham in
Matt
Denver.
Castle?
No, I'll tell you right now.
I mean, that would be a disaster, though. ESPN does their homework on that, right? I mean, the NFL doesn't want that.
Justin Fields.
Fields.
And then Nussmeier's your number 3.
Yeah.
So you're a play away from maybe seeing Nussmeier if Mahomes isn't healthy.
I just don't think the NFL wants that on the first Monday Night Football. So that's actually really good news. That tells me it appears Mahomes and Knicks will be ready to go.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that angle. I think he's probably right, though. Those are both big brands in the NFL, but why would you want to play those guys if you've got backup quarterbacks?
Mahomes expects to be ready for OTAs at some point this summer.
Yeah, he's ahead of schedule, and Knicks's was less severe. They unfortunately had to do. Dr. Waldrop had to do the cleanup though recently, which only added time to his recovery.
Yeah,
obviously.
I did figure that that Pat Mahomes would be ready for day one. That's why I said yesterday that I thought Seattle and Kansas City would be your opener on Thursday night. I was wrong.
That's right, unless they play a back-to-back, which I don't think they're going to.
And we also that week get a win.
We talked about this yesterday. You got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday.
That's right. And the Thursday I just gave you is the first prime game, week 2.
Week 2.
We also got the Thanksgiving game for the Cowboys.
Philly and Cowboys.
Eagles, Cowboys. Yeah. That's a great game.
Divisional game
It
right
is,
there.
but sometimes because we see that twice a year, I'd rather see a little different flavor on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but that late in the season, that will have massive, you would think, NFC East
I told you, I've never seen the Rams play on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know if I want to, but I've never seen it.
I've watched the Dolphins several times on Thanksgiving Day. It does. It creates. I'd rather my team not be on Thanksgiving. I'm with you.
I've had it. I feel like we did it the Tom Brady year.
Yeah, I think y'all played a Thanksgiving night. I think you played twice. I think you played a primetime game in the Cowboys.
Yep. One of the most famous Thanksgiving Day moments was the Dolphins game where Leon Lett slid into the missed field goal. Dolphins got to kick it again from the 2 and made it.
I think we played the Lions during Brady's year on Thanksgiving Day, one of the Brady years.
I think you played a Black Friday game.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
I do remember the Thursday night. I think I was in New York. I think it was Buccaneers. It was somebody because Jameis Winston's Bucs were still in the playoff hunt, like being the last wild card team, and we needed to win, and we got run out of the building. Whoever we played on Thanksgiving night that year. I think I was watching it in a bar in New York City.
Interesting.
And it was not good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, if we always work on Friday because of Iron Bowl.
Right.
So we're always there on Black Friday. If we didn't have work, I wouldn't
Dolphins
mind
played the
play.
first Black Friday game. It was Dolphins-Jets, and it was an afternoon game. It was fine. It felt kind of weird.
Didn't that come down to a Hail Mary?
Yes.
No, wasn't it a Hail Mary that was returned for a touchdown?
Yeah, that was at the end of the half.
Yeah.
End of the first half. Dolphins returned a Hail Mary for a touchdown.
Yeah, that does not happen.
It does to the Jets.
Yeah, the first time ever.
Yeah, the Jets. If anybody's going to do it,
by the way, and the Jets are the one team that didn't have a pick the entire season this year.
4 downs, a lot more college football, and our trash today, all part of the second half of the show that's being brought to you today by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. LT, a chance to get by there and get the fresh cuts.
Yeah, I will pick something up this weekend. Was in there last Friday picking up the prime fillets. Absolutely fantastic fresh meats from that great staff of butchers. The incredible in-house sides made daily. Fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. 2 locations for you. The original Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Back with you on the Next Round, second half of the show here. being brought to you by our wonderful friends at Odie's, where always a great place to go buy lunch and dinner. I had inferior ranch while I was on vacation, and it can ruin a meal, not just on a salad, but like if you get ranch to dip a French fry or a chicken finger in or put it on a wrap, if you got inferior ranch, not good.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of great things at Odie's. Their ranch dressing is tremendous.
Their ranch, and you talk about salads. We've talked before about how specific and unique their croutons are, where they do the French bread.
That's
they
right.
chop that up. I mean, the croutons
From a
are
local
some of the
deli.
best. Yeah, from a local deli. The ranch is fantastic. All the food Rodney Davis has been doing almost 4 decades now, both locations. The original in Crestline, newest location right there, Edgewood, on Broadway in Homewood. Enjoy the wings, the burgers, the delicious sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice cold beer buckets. Perfect weather to watch the PGA Championship. Inside or outside on those great patios. Stop in, see Will Haver, Birmingham Institution, and Odie's Tavern.
So real quick, Jim Brooks wants to know what made the ranch inferior. Was it like the texture, the taste?
It was overly thick.
Oh yeah, that's gross.
I like it more runny. It was overly thick, and I can't tell if it. Some people call it herb ranch or garlic ranch, or it had a flavor that did not sit well with me.
You want yours to have been hidden in a valley, don't you?
I do.
See, I actually think Hidden Valley is a little too thick.
See, I don't mind thick.
No,
I don't want it blue cheese like, but I don't want runny. I don't want thin. I want
a good middle.
I like it runny. No, you're talking, Brooks, out of the squeeze bottle. Hidden Valley.
Yeah,
I'm talking old school trailer park packet.
Oh no, that's great. That's
where you pour it into and then you mix your own and you make it whatever you want.
It's like the seasoning packet.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever get chunks though out of the packet? Like I had this protein drink yesterday and I was supposed to shake it before. First sip, and
chalky.
Oh my God, that's awful. Why did you not shake it?
It was like if you've ever had a cement mixer, a bartender with a sense of humor gives you one of those.
Yeah, well,
you're like, this is why girls want to tap on the shoulder, like.
So it was not the best ranch in the world. Not the best ranch in the world.
Odie's, on the other hand, got great.
Yes, great lunch, dinner, all those options.
Is there a Diablo sandwich, a Smokey and the Bandit reference?
It is.
Well, I need to try that immediately.
You do. It's a very good sandwich.
They tell you to get it with a Dr. Pepper.
That's right.
Make it snappy.
Yep.
Ohio State is bringing back a little bit of, it's not tradition, but they did them from 2015 through 2022. They're bringing back their tunnel vision uniform for this year.
Such a good uniform they have.
2015 through 2022, they'll wear them at one game, and we don't know which game yet, but it'll be one of the home games. If they go in conference, they get Michigan at home.
Nope.
Haven't they worn those in the Michigan game once before?
I think they have worn some sort of alternate against Michigan. Yes,
they've
I don't know if it's
worn
that
too many. One is too many times, but they seem to do it way too much.
They did do an alternate against Michigan because I remember thinking, how do you do that in an Ohio State-Michigan game?
It feels like the game that Harbaugh got stopped short on a fourth down play that he thought it was a first down to this day. It feels like Michigan was in an alternate uniform. I mean, Ohio State was in an alternate uniform. Illinois, Maryland, Northwestern, Oregon is a home game. That would be a good time to do this.
Just have as loud uniforms as we can. That's right. Well, I think this needs to be another factor when we talk about blue bloods. Like, I completely respect, Alabama, USC, Penn State, Michigan, those teams that Notre Dame outside of the green alternative uniform, which isn't bad, never messing up the uniform.
Ohio State's uniform is so dang good.
It is.
I just hate to see them do this.
Yeah, tunnel vision coming back for one game this year. They haven't announced which game it'll be yet. Some people saw this news about Amari Allen at the NBA as news that, maybe this is good. Maybe he comes back to Alabama. And I see it as maybe this is bad. He doesn't come back to Alabama. His measurements at Alabama was 6'8". At the NBA camp, he is 6'5" and a quarter inch tall.
They only missed by 2 3/4 inches.
That's
in the media
crazy.
Guy. That's a pretty big media guy difference right there.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
But to me, not as a sign that he comes back now, as you see the official management from the NBA draft to the camp there, 6'5" and a quarter, 6'8", listed in Tuscaloosa. Maybe they were just going by the wingspan, which is his 6'8" wingspan. But if he's this far, if he's in the conversation for a first round at 6'5" and a quarter, you're not going to get taller going back to Alabama. and you're going to be considered undersized if you go back to Alabama. This
Yeah,
may actually work reverse and not a good sign of him going back.
I disagree because I think this definitely puts him probably in the second round because when I look at Amari Allen, you know, at best he's going to play the 2. I would have thought he would play the 3, just his skill set, and he's undersized for a 3 now.
But
don't you be a 2?
Don't you believe NBA scouts are smart enough though to watch and know he wasn't 6'8"?
Probably so, but then I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of these drafts have him on the very, very back end of the first round. But when the measurements actually come out, I would think that you see him settle more in the second round now, and the money he'll be able to make will be more coming back to Alabama.
But that was my point, that if he's still getting a first round from somebody, he may decide to stay.
It's too risky, though.
Because he may never get back in the first round.
I see your point there. But, again, if I'm Amari Allen, like you weren't the primary, he probably is the primary next year for Nate Oates if he comes back. And, again, I just used the roadmap that LeBaron Philon gave him by coming back and, you know, refine your game a little bit more. And you're right, you're not going to grow, but
I think this may be a revelation to NBA franchises what his actual height is, but I do not believe it's a revelation that he's not 6'8". Again, you go to the games, and where you sit, there are always NBA scouts right there. They are smart enough and see enough players to know he was not 6'8".
Yeah. Probably projected him by eyesight 6'6".
Maybe 6'6", and he's a hair short, or he's 3/4 of an inch shorter than that. So, you know, that might be a factor. But I don't think a single NBA franchise thought he was 6'8" yesterday, and he's only 6'5¼ today.
He could play it the other way. Like maybe he's Jackson Lindenberg, where he decides to come back for a couple of years. Like, you know, come back to Alabama, play extremely well. He's Alabama's alpha. He's an all-SEC guy, and then he can either stay at Alabama or go to a Michigan and make $5 or $6 million.
Our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt brings us 4 downs every day. Tell us about Central Alabama Asphalt.
So you're riding around the roads of Alabama and you see these major road projects, a federal government project, state project, municipal roadway project. Good chance you're seeing our guys from Central Alabama doing that. They do a lot of those jobs, and it may tell you that Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction has all the work they need. They got no time for you, and that's where you could not be more incorrect. They've got an entire division that handles smaller jobs than the road jobs, things like parking pads for your house, a driveway for your house, a parking lot for a community center, a convenience store, something like that. That's the type of work you get from Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. Same crews, same quality, same no excuse standards, even for those smaller jobs. To get an estimate on your job, 205-349-0910, 205-349-0910, or online, centralalabamaasphalt.com.
First down.
Rami Malek, 45 today. Emilio Estevez, 64. Ultimately better career. I know Rami's got a Best Actor Oscar, but I still look at Emilio Estevez and all of the influence he had in the 80s. I mean, is Rami Malek going to continue to get really good roles?
I don't know. I mean, these are two guys that are just kind of there for me. Like Rami Malek, his best known role is playing
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Freddie Mercury. That's it.
I would say that's probably his best known role.
Yeah. Mr. Robot was
was up there as far as high profile roles.
Yeah.
And then he had an appearance in Oppenheimer that is memorable if you've seen that movie, and was also the star of a video game called Until Dawn, which was critically acclaimed at the time it was made. Also starred Hayden Panettiere.
Okay, well, one of the great cult films of all time, Repo Man, was Emilio Estevez.
So he did Queen, and then they made a movie off of Mr. Roboto?
The Styx song? He played Tommy Shaw, too? I never liked that song.
I hated that song.
Mr. Roboto. Terrible song. I guess I'll go Rami Malek.
I'm going to go Emilio Estevez.
I'm going to say Estevez now, but Malek could be that guy.
Yeah.
Second down.
Ving Rhames, 67 years old today. Steve Smith, former Carolina Panther, 47. Better career, Ving Rhames or Steve Smith?
I'm going to go Steve Smith here, Dunaway. You got to see him a lot against your Buccaneers. Boy, that guy was good on third down, man. Third down, Steve Smith. He moved those chains.
Had good attitude for a little bitty guy, too.
Yeah.
Between the Mission Impossible franchise, Pulp Fiction, and Lilo and Stitch, Ving Rhames takes
Okay,
this.
and Ving Rhames did win a Golden Globe for portraying Don King. I think it was called Made in America, an HBO film years and years ago.
What did he have?
Out of Sight too is great.
Did he have a bit role as an officer, like a training officer in Officer and a Gentleman?
Nope.
Nope. Who is Ving Rhames?
Ving Rhames was in Out of Sight. Ving Rhames was
was he?
I mean, he's the voice of Arby's.
Where we've got the beef or whatever it is.
I need
We
to see
have
his
the
face.
meats.
So we have the
We
meats.
have
Thank
the
you.
meats.
We got the beef.
There's Ving Rhames.
Yeah,
You've seen him and stuff. He's a bit actor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. I didn't like Steve Smith the year we won the Super Bowl. It was after a Thanksgiving game or Thanksgiving weekend. He said on the NFL Network, "This team is lost, and there's no way this team should be in the playoffs. Let alone they won't win a game." And they
You
went on
should
to
have
win
heard
the Super Bowl.
you should have heard what Ving Rhames said about it.
Very deep voice.
Yeah,
I
I will
like the
lean Ving
Rams.
Rhames here.
Third down.
George Carlin would have been 89 today. Tony Hawk, 58. I know where Jeeves is going to go here, but if I ask you guys, George Carlin or Tony Hawk, better.
Tony Hawk and not close.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, undoubtedly the best skateboarder of all time, right? Nobody even argues that one.
He is the Michael Jordan of the sport.
Yeah, some would argue Carlin's the best stand-up comedian of all time. I personally would not, but some would.
But skateboarding is very niche.
Very niche.
Yeah.
George.
I mean, I would go Tony Hawk too because I think the influence on, guys like Jackass, video
Also,
games.
But for a part of a decade, he influenced wardrobe even.
Oh, 1,000%. Not to mention the video games introduced the sport to people who would never skate ever and got them into it, or at least got them to buy a video game, and also pushed people towards all the music that was popular in skate culture at the time.
Now, George Carlin did educate us on how ridiculous the FCC
That's
was.
right. He gave us 7 words.
Okay, now do a second.
I was about to say he's absolutely known for one bit.
I mean, he was very popular. I understand that.
Yeah,
and
he had the little rat tail too.
Very influential, but
you're right.
He's known
Bill
for
and
one
Ted.
thing.
He was
One
in
bit.
that.
Yeah, but he's known for one comedy bit. Dunaway's not wrong about that. Like, if you say, all right, George Carlin, give me his funniest stuff. Well, he did the 7 words you can't say. Okay, give me number 2. And most people are like, I really don't know.
Yeah,
That's how I know.
but he was a huge mainstay on SNL.
Yeah.
I mean, he did great stand-up. It wasn't like Gallagher hitting a watermelon.
No,
I mean, that
but-
is the one thing that does jump out because it's played over and over again. But I would agree with you guys. I think Tony Hawk is it.
compared it to Gallagher.
Yeah, but to me, if
Well,
you,
you're like he's a one-trick pony. He's not a
if you
one-trick
go
pony.
if you go comedians, George Carlin can't sniff Richard Pryor's job.
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah.
And then there's Eddie Murphy and
Yeah.
some others
Well,
that go above George Carlin.
Give me the second best skateboarder of all time, you know?
No,
I mean,
it'd be the Mr. Tomato Head.
Sean White, he was
Yeah.
a snowboarder, wasn't
No,
he?
he was a
Did he do skateboard too? Mr. Tomato Head?
He did both, but he's way more known for his snowboarding.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Yogi Berra would have been 101 years old. Who had the better career, Yogi Berra or Joe Namath?
You know, I have found that Yogi Berra was a far better baseball player than people
yeah.
of my age give him credit for, because you just saw the, I don't know how to describe him.
championships.
He became like a comedian almost. You know, Yogi said this, and I never realized how good a player he actually was.
Hall of Famer, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Number retired by the
Easy.
Yankees, which is
Yeah.
pretty
I mean,
high
you
territory.
could make an argument. He's a top 5 Yankee of all time. I know that
Yeah.
sounds insane.
Yeah, but see, when
you
I
look at
was
the
growing
numbers-
up, Yogi was kind of comic relief. You know, they would have him on the baseball broadcast, and he would say funny stuff. Oh, Yogi. You know, Yogi said that restaurant's, I never go there, they're too busy. Or, you know, nobody ever goes there, they're too busy. When you come to the fork in the road, take it. You know, he had all these Yogi-isms, and to me, it overshadowed what a great player he was.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I'll
if
go
you-
Yogi Berra.
If you pull the numbers, but, you know, Joe Namath has the biggest flex in sports history. Like, the guarantees all fall flat now, but his guarantee in 1969, now, I wasn't around to see it.
I
but-
wasn't either, but it was the first one and the most famous one.
Yeah, I mean,
But he also he propped up the AFL. He made them legitimate. There's no merger without Joe Namath choosing to go to the American Football League instead of the NFL.
and he was transcendent as far as, like, pop culture. Like, there was something iconic about Joe Namath. He did movies back then.
Yeah, he was at his own primetime talk show.
Yeah.
It was in prime time on ABC.
Like, did Joe Namath not sit out a year because the commissioner said you got to pick It wasn't TV.
He owned the club.
He owned the club, and there was
where
some
mob guys who did organized gambling.
Yeah.
They called Three Bachelors, something like
Bachelors
that.
3. Bachelors 3, I think was the name of it, yeah.
And so he set out a year.
You think he had a private room in there?
Oh, I guarantee you. Joe Willie had whatever he wanted.
Bear was the better player, but man, this is really close. I'm going to say Joe Namath.
I'm going to go Joe Namath. And, one day we may talk about greatest Alabama quarterbacks of all time. A.J. McCarron because of the winning, but Joe Namath's skill set played through 2 major knee injuries.
And he's still
at Alabama and still had a great NFL career.
I was watching a documentary recently where Joe Namath was a big part of it. I can't remember what it was now, but it was within the last week.
To Dunaway's point, though, they think he played his senior year with 2 torn ACLs, which ties the record. And, I mean...
And mainly a running offense.
I know. He was running with that. Can you imagine how bad that hurt?
Yeah.
I was just going to bring up, growing up as an Alabama fan, then you watch the old NFL film stuff. I thought of Joe Namath as this kind of larger than life personality. You would still see him come on TV and that kind of stuff. And if you look at his stat line, if you put that on a quarterback
different world
nowadays,
back then.
I know, and that's what's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a game below 500 and then his touchdown to interception ratio is insane. 173 touchdowns to 220 interceptions.
It was a different game back then, but he's in the Hall of Fame primarily based on what we just discussed, as he was the driving force to combine the AFL and the NFL and create what we have today.
Yeah.
Without Joe Willie, that may never happen.
And he changed the salaries of the NFL.
Yeah.
The NFL players were getting paid nothing. And when Joe Namath went to the AFL for a lot more money, they changed the way they paid the NFL players.
Yeah. He was a pioneer. Yeah, there's no doubt. Best Yogi Berra line I ever heard was they had some pitcher. He hit the first batter. Next guy got a single, next guy got a double, next guy hit a grand slam, 4 straight pitches. The manager comes to the mound, Yogi meets him out there, and he's like, all right, guys, let's settle down. Yogi, what's he got that's good today? And Yogi said, I don't know, I haven't caught one yet. That's a good line. I don't know, I haven't caught one yet.
Yeah. He was probably, some of you guys know Bob Uecker. He was the Bob Uecker before Bob Uecker with his comments.
Yeah.
Brown was reading some of those. It ain't over till it's over. When you come to the fork in the road, take it. Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. It's like deja vu all over again. It's one I've used a lot before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was a great character, but that, to me, as a guy that had no idea how he played, it overshadowed his career. Well, I realized how good a catcher he was.
Yeah. Baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical. If you don't know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else.
He was one of a kind.
That's 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt. Also the show today coming to you in part by our great friends at Crane U.
Crane U wants to remind you, if you are in the crane business, they can really help you with, or if you're just thinking about getting into it, the first big step is getting certified, becoming fully compliant. Crane U, here to guide you every single step of the way. Inspections, training, certifications, whatever you need, Crane U's got it handled. If you've got equipment in the field, Crane U, make sure it's job ready and compliant. No guesswork, just expert inspections you can trust. From first-time operators to seasoned professionals seeking recertification, their industry-leading training programs built for all experience levels, backed by a team with over 100 years of combined real-world expertise. Crane U delivers the knowledge, hands-on skills, and confidence you need to succeed in the field. For more information, craneu.com. That is craneu.com.
Speaking of changing salaries, former Stallion kicker Brandon Arbery did that this offseason, where he was going to walk away from the Dallas Cowboys and got a new contract. Chris Boswell of Pittsburgh, is that right?
Yep.
He gets a 4-year, $28 million deal yesterday, matching what Brandon Arbery has gotten with the Dallas Cowboys. So a new era of paying big-time kickers.
Yeah, we were at dinner last night, and Maddie she was like, a kicker's making $7 million? And I was like, it seems high until you miss a kick that cost you everything.
I agree.
And when you've got a guy that can kick in those conditions, which Boswell can, you marry that guy, because really, I mean, your difference in, I mean, the margin of error in the NFL is so slim, and I think kickers have been underappreciated for a long time. I mean, really elite ones.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right here, because what do you think the field goal percentage difference is from the best to the worst in the NFL?
Oh, I mean, probably 7-8%, if that.
Yeah, I mean, and to Lance's point, you pay a guy because you believe he is going to make it when it matters the most. All right, field goal percentage in the NFL last year, your top field goal percentage, if I could get this website to quit doing pop-ups here, your top field goal percentage was 96.6 last year. Nick Falk and Eddie Pinheiro of San Francisco. Your worst one, I mean, it's worse than I would have thought, 74%. So that is a pretty big gap.
Yeah,
74% Jake Elliott of the Eagles. So,
I mean,
I'm sorry. It's Daniel Carlson, the former Auburn star.
Yeah, not good when you're only making 3 or 4 kicks.
Yeah, I mean, that is not great. So you can see why you pay those guys. But it's more about the kicks that matter the most.
Yeah, when it's a game-winning situation or tying situation. The Chargers yesterday pick up David Njoku, a 1-year deal, $8 million. 1 year, $8 million, basically slightly more than kicker money. That tight end room now with the Chargers, Njoku, Oronde Gadsden, and Charlie Kolar, 3 tight ends for Justin Hebert and the Justin Herbert. I don't know why I went.
Bobby's little son.
I don't know why I went strictly Louisiana on you.
You're Lane Kiffin. Everything's about Louisiana now.
Justin Herbert there with the Chargers. Chargers, were they on your big board you were looking at?
They were. Yeah, they were, I think, 15-1.
Lance
but
loves
I've said
some Chargers.
I think it's all L.A. in SoFi this year. I hate to jinx it, but we'll see what happens.
Chargers, Rams playing in SoFi.
I do.
Wow. That'd be the 3rd team that won it on their home field because you can't lose it at that point. Because the Rams have done it, the Bucs have done it in back-to-back years, and now if that happened, Chargers,
who's the home
Rams.
team this year? Who gets that home locker room?
Just think uniforms last year. Seahawks were in what color?
They were in white, I think.
Don't know.
I don't really know. No, they weren't. I think they were the home team.
I think they were.
Yeah.
So it'd be the AFC team.
That's okay. Rams can battle through
that. You like being the underdog.
That'd be a good uniform, though. Rams white against the powder blues of the Chargers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boy, do you know how unlikely this is, though, Lance? I mean, it's been your prediction for a long time, but how unlikely it would be to have 2 teams in the same city playing in the Super Bowl.
Or for Justin Herbert to win multiple postseason games.
Herbert to even get that far in the postseason.
Yeah,
you're going against a lot here.
I get it, but the good news is, your other best quarterbacks in the AFC never win anything, right?
Dunaway, I'll make this proposition to Lance. You and I can have the field. He can have those 2 teams. We get the whole rest of the field.
Yeah.
You don't take that.
It's a great bet.
Yeah, I'll go one better. Something that'll interest him more. If those 2 teams are in the Super Bowl, don't worry about the show for a week and the 2 days afterwards. Is this the year we get it on a holiday?
Is it that far back where we get what day?
I
Is
don't
this
think
a year?
so.
Give me
I
the
don't
date of
think
the Super
so.
Bowl real quick.
I don't have it in front of me. I can look, though.
Look it up, and I'll tell you when President's Day falls.
Isn't this the year, though, that President's Day?
I thought we had gotten there.
I don't think we've gotten there yet.
I think the President's Day is after the Super Bowl.
It is, because the Super Bowl's on Valentine's, I think. Google it. I think the Super Bowl's on Valentine's this year.
February. No, that was last year's.
No. In 2027.
Yep, that's it. It's on Valentine's Day.
It's on Valentine's.
The Super Bowl is on Valentine's Day?
That's right.
And the 15th is President's Day.
Okay, I'll take it.
So if it's Rams-Chargers, Lance, you just take a week and a half is what we just said?
Yeah. No strings.
You're going to go if it's Rams-Chargers.
I probably, I said I would never go to another one, but when we were in Seattle last year, I was like, if they win, we're going to have to find a way to Santa Clara.
Yeah, you went from never going to another Super Bowl to actually going to several regular season games last year.
That's right.
I only went to 5 games last year.
And the NFC Championship.
One in L.A. and one in Seattle. Yeah, we're based out of Birmingham. It's not like you went and caught them in Tampa, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Nashville.
I got 2 in SoFi last year. Yeah. I'll definitely go back to SoFi this year. I saw somebody did their top 10 NFL stadiums. They didn't have SoFi.
No, how do you do that? What an insult!
I mean, I think that's the top 10 stadium on the planet. Any sport,
it's got to be. I mean, like if you just see it from your living room, you're like, damn, that is impressive. But actually going to an event there is pretty incredible.
When we come back, more college football. What's going on Amelia Island as they do the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC Spring Meetings, and it's an interesting couple of topics that are coming out of there involving one of them, Dabo Swinney. So we'll get an update on that, some reaction to everything going on in college football, and a lot more still to come on a show that's being brought to you today by our friends at Gutter Cap.
Cap it, don't snap it. Last thing you want to do after a long week of work is get on the roof, get that ladder out. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Make the call, 205-823-2212. Chris Stewart will come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. You will never have to clean those gutters again. Gutter cap is a patent aluminum cover system, fits over most existing gutter, will only allow rainwater inside the gutters. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical offices, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show, always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 down in Alabaster. I don't crave it as frequently as Tyler does. I only crave it like once a day. When I talk to Tyler, it seems like it's multiple times now. Tyler gets down there more often than I do now, but I am absolutely craving it right now. So much so. That Southern fried chicken is brined overnight, cooked to order. What do you like about it?
I like how crunchy it is. I love the sides. I mean, I haven't had a bad item from Champy's.
Me either.
How's the ranch?
Delicious. I personally think it's the best in the city, but I haven't tried Odie's Ranch either, so I might have to compare.
Battle of the ranches.
Easily best honey mustard. It's all right there at Champy's Chicken. Juicy to the bone, cooked to order, brined overnight. Sterling gets it going there, and there are just days where I have to have it. And it's a destination lunch location right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by there, and don't forget the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Recapping what has been the top story for a lot of people for a little over 24 hours now is Lane Kiffin and the Vanity Fair comments where he basically brought up diversity and recruiting problem at Ole Miss because of their inability to distance himself from the Confederate flag, Colonel Reb, and the nickname Ole Miss. He says that in a Vanity Fair article written by Chris Smith, who Chris Smith says on the Feinbaum show yesterday that those comments were offered independently. He was never directly asked a question about those issues there. Kiffin said, quote, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That was one of the comments there, and Kiffin went into the other stuff. Since then, Lane Kiffin, and I want your reaction to these comments. I gave it to you during the Clay interview about an hour ago, but a little slower version. I really apologize. This is from Lane Kiffin to On3 Sports. I really apologize if anybody at Ole Miss or in Mississippi was offended by that, his comments to Vanity Fair. In a 4-hour interview, I was asked a lot of questions on a lot of things, and Ole Miss has been wonderful to me and to my family. I was asked questions about the differences in recruiting, and I said a narrative that we battled there from some out-of-state black parents and grandparents was not wanting their kids to move to Mississippi. That's a narrative that coaches have been fighting forever. It wasn't calculated by bringing it up, end quote.
He set a narrative because he was trying to soften the blow where he scorched earth leaving Oxford last year and trying to show reasons that he had to take this other job. Why can't he just say, hey, look, I felt like LSU was better for me and my family, was a better opportunity to win a championship, and that's why I took the job?
Yeah, I mean, for him to say, he essentially is there saying, I didn't just bring this up, and the reporter is saying something different. So you got two different versions of the story.
And by the way, I believe why would the reporter, again, I didn't hear the Feinbaum interview, maybe you guys did, but if the reporter's asked, hey, did you bring this up? Why would the reporter say, yeah, like there's a perception when it comes to the South. Yeah. I asked him an obvious question. Like, I think the reporter would own that, right?
That's right. But he even says it. In a 4-hour interview, I was asked a lot of questions on a lot of things, and Ole Miss has been wonderful to me and my family. He just inserts that in the middle of his thought. I was asked questions about the differences in recruiting, and I set a narrative that we battled there from some out-of-state black parents and grandparents was not wanting their kids to move to Mississippi. That's a narrative that coaches have been fighting forever. It wasn't calculated by bringing it up. That from Lane Kiffin to On3.
It sounds calculated according to the Vanity Fair writer. It sounds like it was calculated that he brought that up.
Yeah. The differences in recruiting. I mean, I would, if I asked this question, I'm not bringing racial questions, the history of the South and Southern institutions into it. If I just say, well, Lane, what's the difference between recruiting at Ole Miss and recruiting at LSU? And then he goes into this. That's probably how it played out. The reporter didn't say.
No, but he was waiting on that. Like, I know when I sit down.
I think I would be waiting on him to say, well, first of all, I'm getting, twice as much NIL money. LSU.
Well, that's the things he should have said, the obvious things.
LSU plays in front of almost twice as large of a crowd as Ole Miss does in one of the great venues in college athletics in Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night.
Man, he's so complex in the fact that he loves to scorch earth, but he doesn't like people to dislike him. Like, I think he's one of those guys that loves to troll, but he also probably sits there on social media to see what the reaction is and probably gets beat up if anybody takes shots at Lane Kiffin. He probably hates that.
I did think it was interesting. This was in the chat room, so I did some looking. Ole Miss is 78% white, 11% black. Then you have Hispanic, Latino, Asian that plays in there. So I just looked up randomly. I was like, pick a random school, Michigan. 5% black. I mean, a much smaller percentage of black students.
Put Oregon State in there.
I did Ohio State was like 6 or 7 black students.
Or Oregon State, I think it's 1%.
Yeah, no,
and it's all athletes.
When you didn't mean this when you phrased your question to Clay, but you brought you said racism in the South or something. I forget what you said in the South, and I was going to say, that is always the national narrative is in the South, where you can't tell me there's less racist battles going on in New York or Boston or Detroit.
And perhaps I said it incorrectly.
Milwaukee.
I can't remember exactly what I said. But
Boston
my point was
is supposed to be the most racist city out
my
there.
My point was the South has to fight it image-wise more than anyone.
That's right.
But it exists everywhere.
To your point, the diversity is actually greater in Southern institutions than are in Northern institutions.
Now, to be fair, the diversity of population, the black population is primarily in the Southeast as well. So, that could be an argument as well. But to Lance's point, 38,000 people at Oregon State, 61% are white, 2% are black. I mean, there is a larger percentage. I would dare say if you go through the SEC schools and do the percentages, the SEC is going to have the higher percentage of probably any other conference.
That is 190 black students on campus. What'd you say, 38,000?
38,000, yeah. I mean, it's
that's needle in haystack.
Yeah, it is. I'm with you. I don't deny that racism exists. I think, unfortunately, it gets yelled about so often when potentially it doesn't exist, that the real times it does exist wash over you now.
It doesn't in football terms. Like, I still don't get, like, the Rooney rule. Like, it might open up a guy to be able to interview, and he has a great interview, and then he's on somebody's radar. But owners, look, some of these guys might be racist, but they're still going to hire the best guy for the job.
Yeah, they want to win above all things.
The best guy for the job. Like, I really think it is all green when it comes to sports now. People... They're just not that short-sighted.
By the way, U.S. population last census, 58% identified themselves as white, and then Hispanic, blacks, Asians, and others down through the process there.
Yeah.
For those that actually answer, some people don't answer and don't fill out that category.
But your percentage of black population is higher in the southern states than any other region in America. I mean, I get that. So naturally, your southern schools are probably going to have a higher percentage.
To me, I don't understand why Lane wants to make his job more difficult. The expectations are through the roof right now, and all you're doing is you're stacking the deck against it. When Jimbo Fisher signed that contract with A&M, you guys remember how vocal I was. I was like, this will never work out. I think Lane Kiffin's a better coach than Jimbo Fisher. So when you have the resources of LSU, this thing should work out. But I don't understand why he continues to set up situations like this that just make more and more people pile on and want to pull against him.
By making these comments, he has put himself on a limb of a very hot button topic that can come back and bite him at some point, that can cost you your job at some point. That's what he's done. He's put himself in a situation where he won't get the grace because of this comment of a misstep, a perception, the way he's treats a person of color, athlete in his program at some point. All it's going to take is one LSU player saying that Lane treated me this way because of my skin color or my racial background, and he's going to be in a bad situation because he's put himself on this limb.
No, I would tend to agree with you on that.
That's the way he's put himself in this arena.
That's the way things normally work this way.
Yeah, most people try to avoid the whole race thing altogether because if you do say the wrong thing, very dangerous territory. But again, I mean, just shitting on your former employer like that. I mean, how many?
It wasn't just the employer. I mean, it's really the whole state.
It is the whole state.
You took a whole state and basically said, "Listen, man, people are so racist in this state, black players won't come play there. I mean, we joke about Mississippi, but there's a lot of good people in the state of Mississippi, and you painted them in such a negative light with that.
Well, in Mississippi Burning, takes place back in the civil rights days.
Great
Gene
movie,
Hackman,
by the
Willem
way.
Dafoe.
Great
But I was
movie.
watching it with a bunch of guys in Elkhart, and I remember these two Ohio kids were like, "Is it really like that in the South?" And I'm like, "They've got this guy in a chicken coop." No, maybe in the 60s it was.
60s
but
maybe.
My
yeah,
God,
but
it's 1995 then 30 years ago, and it was so much better. And I don't know, man. I don't know why this has become a big topic for Lane Kiffin. But I think it's going to bite him in the ass.
It was one of those topics that came up on my vacation was that, because I graduated in the 80s. And for people now, when I talk about the 80s, when I graduated college, that was like when I was in college, people talking about the 1920s, basically. It's time flies by. Like I said,
the Depression, Prohibition.
Yeah, which seems forever ago. The rebel flag outlawed and distanced itself from the University of Mississippi in 1983.
I would love,
hasn't been allowed on campus,
though, to hear from a guy like Trinidad Chambliss. Like, you've been on campus 1 year. Like,
you came from Michigan, by the way.
Yeah. What is your experience? Like, what have you?
He'll be asked.
Unfortunately, that's the thing. Like, all these players are going to have to take on all these questions, all these players' parents.
The minute a press conference at Ole Miss happens that involves a black player, he's going to be asked about this.
And when do we get Pete Golding's response? That's got to come today, right?
Well, if not today, I mean, to Jim's point, they all talk to the media when they're down at the spring meetings in 2 weeks. So this is going to be a topic.
Keith Carter, is that the AD, Keith Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I would imagine he's
fuming right now.
Yeah. I would imagine because I think he's a Mississippi grad. Am I right about that?
That I can't help you with.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just really sad because, Lane Kiffin, at least in modern history terms, is the best head coach in Ole Miss's modern history. And now you can't appreciate, if you're an Ole Miss fan, is there any way you really can embrace Lane Kiffin?
But to your point, no. And that ship may have already sailed, Lance, by the way he left right in the middle of a playoff run. But to your point, I really hadn't thought of this till you brought it up. Players that he recruited to Ole Miss, like Kewan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss, that are black players, look at the position he's put those kids in.
Oh, yeah.
The minute a microphone's in their face, they are in an absolute no-win situation.
But it also makes every black athlete who chose to go to Ole Miss and play for Lane, it makes them look like they didn't care about
That's
those
right.
issues.
Yeah, I push racism. It exists, but I just wanted to play football.
Yeah, I wanted the money.
That's right.
I wanted the money. I wanted to go to Ole Miss for the money. I didn't care about racial issues.
Yeah, you just don't even think about the position people that you supposedly care about. You put them in with your words like that.
By the way, Chris Lowe, off of these comments and the Steve Sarkisian comments, that basically all you have to do is take a class in basket weaving and you can get a degree from Ole Miss. Chris says it's probably time for Commissioner Greg Sankey to get his referee shirt ready for the SEC Spring Meetings in 2 weeks. I can still remember the late Mike Slive telling me he actually swore at the coaches, which he never did, after some of the verbal sparring between Urban Meyer and Lane Kiffin back in 2009, that the first interaction between those two got so heated that Mike Slive had to cuss them down to shut up.
Is it crazy that maybe the most least controversial coach at the meetings will be Kalen DeBoer?
The Alabama coach.
Yeah.
Yes, he's just sitting
it
back
really
and
is,
watching.
though. Like, I don't see controversy ever.
But imagine Ryan Silverfield and Alex Golish and John Silverall, they're sitting in these meetings for the first time. They're like, this conference is off the rails. The American, we all went and ate dinner together.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kalen's eating vanilla ice cream over in the corner, watching it all happen.
Keith Carter not only went to Ole Miss, he played basketball there. So this is a guy that has old Ole Miss ties. He's been in this program a long time. So I'm sure these words probably hit him pretty personally.
Hit him close to home.
Yeah.
And I think Pete Golding's wife is from the Oxford area.
She is. She's from that area of the country.
She's a Mississippi person as well. All right, our friends at Hemphill, before we do our spotlight today, tell us about Hemphill, Lance.
Yeah, 205-229-2090 if you experience any plumbing, heating, cooling issues, home or business. Again, it's going to be warming up this week. It's going to be in the high 80s. You need to make sure HVAC is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
The College Football Spotlight
is presented by our guy, Alexander Shunnarah. The Shunnarah Spotlight every single day. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com. He is the guy to go to. And you think about Alexander Shunnarah, like, well, he's a personal injury attorney. He certainly handles personal injury cases. But do not think that's what he's limited to. No, sir. This guy handles a wide variety of cases. How about storm damage, fire damage cases, disability, workers' compensation? The list goes on and on and on. And it's why we tell you, when you are in need of any sort of legal help, you start at Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com. He's recovered more than $2 billion for his clients, and you don't pay a dime unless they win your case at Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Shunnarah.com.
Boy, does anybody have a more booming voice than Brownie? I mean, I don't even think you need like if we were...
I talk loud.
If we were speaking in a, like if we were doing something at the Lyric.
Yeah.
Like a kickoff party at the Lyric.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a microphone for you. Like you could... Like in the old Shakespearean days in the theater, you had to.
Right.
There was no microphones or anything.
Right.
You had to speak to the whole theater.
Men of our country.
I think you'd be really good at that.
I will tell you this. Saturday night, I'm very honored they asked me to MC the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame banquet every year.
And you did it microphone?
No, I did it with a microphone, but their sound system, I sound better on that than I do anywhere else. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they've just got a mix set for me just right or whatever.
Did all your fans tell you this?
Oh,
or?
They do, Lance. They line up at the end of the show. No, I can hear it, and I'm like, this is the best I sound anywhere. If I ever like...
Did you tell Scott Myers, we need to do a couple of shows from here?
We can do a show from here. They're just coming through the speakers. They've got it dialed up just perfect for my voice for whatever reason.
Well, you've got a good voice.
Oh, well, that's nice of you to say, Jim.
Yeah, you always have had a good voice.
Now, this is where you come. Now, but Brown.
Yeah, it's the things you say that makes no sense.
That's right. They sound good, but they make no sense.
Our spotlight is from the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC Media Days, which are ongoing at Amelia Island. Last we checked in on the ACC in football, it was Notre Dame's Pete Bavacqua upset with Commissioner Jim Phillips because Jim Phillips and the ACC were trumpeting, leave Notre Dame out of the playoffs, put Miami in. And Pete Bavacqua, of course, at Amelia Island, first chance he gets in front of the microphone, the ACC media says, so how's the relationship with old Jim Phillips and the ACC? Very good, healthy, and he likes where Notre Dame and the ACC relationship is. You believe that?
I do not. Well, wait a minute. The Notre Dame AD saying that? Yeah, no, I believe he loves the relationship because
they've got 4 built-in games.
They've got 4 built-in games.
They don't have any responsibility, any commitment to the league at all.
They don't have to play in their championship game, and they don't have to share the money with them that they get. Yeah, it's a great relationship for them. They're
all their other sports play in the conference for ACC championships.
That's right. So we don't have to go to another conference because we get to put our sports that we really need to have a conference home. They've got a conference home with the ACC. It's the old we get our milk and don't have to buy the cow.
ACC is not even close to a 10, but it's like having a good solid 8 side piece that you don't have to answer to.
But it doesn't hurt.
I mean, that's what they've got.
They do, and it doesn't hurt me. Like I get enough decent games. It helps my strength of schedule, but I also get to play Wake Forest and NC State and stuff like that, and it doesn't hurt me at all. I mean, I could still make the college football playoffs. It's great for them.
Did you feel, though, last year when this was going down leading up to Selection Sunday and then Miami getting in over Notre Dame, did you feel like this was going to eventually lead to the end of that relationship? Was there any concern?
Well,
for either one of you back then?
It was an awkward situation for the ACC, who was in a partnership with Notre Dame, but they had to come out beating the drum for Miami and taking shots at Notre Dame. It did create an awkward situation.
It did. But again, Notre Dame is so set up. The only thing it was going to do was maybe alienate Notre Dame, and there's no way with the setup they currently have right now.
$289.6 million in revenue generated last year by Notre Dame. Some of that money is ACC money there. I was going to bring up, if I can find it quickly, the highest rated ACC. Oh, I don't know if you've seen this now, but there are LSU color rebel flags.
Of course there are.
All over the internet from like game day tailgates and stuff like that.
You said that's what's going to happen is everybody's got a picture that meant nothing to them until Lane Kiffin said this, and now they can say, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. College game day, by the way, Clemson LSU first week. That has been announced moments ago.
I think that, your Texas Ohio State's not week 1, right? That's week 2.
Week 2.
Yeah.
It's probably the best option.
Yeah. And it's an ESPN game.
I mean, I would say it won't get as much hype as it did last year because I think both of those teams were viewed as like top 5 teams, although both massive disappointments. But because of the Lane Kiffin factor, it sure as hell will.
Yeah, I mean, Marty Smith, now we know what story he's working on. So, Lane, what did you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't find it right now in front of me. The
highest rated ACC game of the year?
No, I was looking for the I was going back and trying to find the revenue generated, and I wanted to find out the highest rated. Here we go. I've got it here.
Oh, the school that produced the most revenue from the ACC.
Yeah, I was trying to. Notre Dame was third with $289.6 million. The highest ACC. You want to guess?
I would say Clemson.
I would say Clemson.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It's Miami, $230.4 million. That is head of LSU, Nebraska, and Auburn immediately. So that's 12.
The reason I didn't say
how's little old Clemson got that kind of money?
The next one is Stanford, $192.8 million. Florida State,
I forget they're in the ACC.
$192.7. Clemson is all the way down, $186.1 million, just behind Kentucky, $4 million ahead of Indiana and Duke. So ACC doesn't make a ton of money, relatively speaking.
Where's that shaky academic institution, Cal? I can't believe Cal's got both hands tied behind their back, and he's taking shots at Cal.
Cal woke up this morning and was like, what did we do to Texas?
Did him and Tosh Lupoi work together in Tuscaloosa? Was there a crossover?
Potentially.
Because I'm just wondering if there's some. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I thought it was a weird to pull Cal into this.
First, I forgot Tosh Lupoi was the Cal head coach. So
no. It seemed like Sark would have been an analyst when Tosh was an on-the-field coach.
Yeah, you just wonder.
If there's some bad blood there?
Yeah, I mean, why would you bring Cal into this?
$173.1 million in fiscal revenue from Cal. It's basically the same as UCLA, right ahead of Rutgers and right ahead of Ole Miss.
Damn.
Ole Miss only brings in $171.1 million. Mississippi State, $157.3. And then I remember Vandy being dead last at $146.3 million.
Yeah.
There's a have and have-nots in the SEC, by the way.
There's no doubt.
And that's what's so interesting with NIL, because you hear that Vanderbilt's going to be really competitive. Ole Miss definitely stepped it up last year and is stepping it up again because of the Lane Kiffin situation. But, I know it's all booster funded, but it's just interesting that those numbers are so far off from the top.
Tosh and Sark were there together in 2016, by the way, if it matters. But they were there together. I don't know if there's bad blood or not. But you're right. That was such a random pull to go to Cal.
Yeah.
Of all places, you just
not a relevant program at all.
You randomly drag Cal into your rent.
2025 fiscal numbers, by the way, just to finish it up. We're giving you the highest ACC and the others. Highest Big 12 is Kansas. $173.6 million.
I think we sleep on the money Kansas has.
Well, and that's all basketball driven, really.
But that's way down the list.
Yeah.
That's in the Illinois, UCLA, Cal range. Colorado is next at 161.6. Oregon's only 167.1.
That's very surprising.
Yep.
Where is Texas? Can Cody Campbell find this in his couch?
Texas
Whatever
Tech.
they brought in.
Oh, there's no doubt. Texas Tech is swinging in at revenue created $128.7 million, $3 million behind Northwestern.
Wow.
The same as Maryland, about $3 million more than Utah, and $6 million more than the highest rated non-Power 4 program. Which one do you think that is?
The biggest non-Power 4 program as far as revenue goes.
Generated in athletics for fiscal 2025.
Gosh, I don't even know where to guess.
I will go Central Florida or South Florida.
Oh, they're
LT is right. It is South Florida where Alex Gildish came
Really?
from. $122 million in the fiscal year.
Well, you remember that was the anonymous coach said that to Bruce Feldman, like, there's nobody in the Power 5 with better resources than South Florida, and he never won the conference. So that was a criticism an anonymous coach gave of Alex Golish. I'd forgotten about that.
Yep. That's crazy.
The numbers back it up.
Yep. All right, one more thing from Amelia Island in the ACC. Dabo Swinney was asked about Luke Farrelly and the tampering with Ole Miss. Since let's put Ole Miss in the barrel with tampering.
Oh, Lord, damn.
I mean, Pete Golding's got a difficult job to begin with, following up what's going on.
So they asked Dabo about Luke Farrelly, him turning Ole Miss into the NCAA. He admitted publicly he turned them in. You know what he's heard from the NCAA?
Absolutely nothing.
I still have yet to hear back from the NCAA
don't hold
on
your breath.
tampering.
That is so far down their list. They are in court literally in almost all 50 states right now. The last thing they can deal with is that.
Yeah. So there's nothing. I'm trying to think of an analogy. It'd be like going to the police and turning in a mobster, expecting the mobster to get arrested for something you turn him into the police, and then you go back and you see the mobster still going to lunch and still walking past your window, and you call the police and they're like, "Yeah, we're looking into it. We haven't heard anything back about that." Yeah. So there's the old SEC tampering with Dabo's roster. Dabo's heard nothing from the NCAA.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
I would not hold my breath if they reach out either.
And he had documentation. Remember, he had text messages and everything. Craziness. All right, when we come back, we'll get to trash today.
Dabo probably thought that quote would get some traction. You watch, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to throw Ole Miss right under the bus to the media.
Yeah, it's the third biggest Ole Miss swipe.
And not even close.
Yeah. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you this part of the show today, where Lance went a couple of years ago and decided, hey, let's change my vision forever.
Yeah, 2015 vision still over, 23 years later, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. Again, only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision. Make the phone call, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
We interrupt this program for breaking news from the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice: Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe. Turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Champy's Chicken bringing you the final segment, final hour of the show every day. Highway 119 in Alabaster, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. So good there. The slaw, the potato salad. I had stopped eating potato salad for years and years and years until I got back at Champy's and the in-house made sides. So good. The chicken's brined overnight, juicy, down to the bone, hand-cut chicken fingers. It's just so good. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. I minored in public relations. Took some classes.
You love telling people where they go wrong in PR. You've done this many, many times.
I am horrible on social media because I tweet instantly without thinking things through. Sometimes I don't spell it. I don't phrase it correctly. But if you're an athletic director at an SEC institution that's getting a lot of comments today, 9:23 a.m. this morning, athletic director Keith Carter on Twitter, X, kind of amazing how uncomfortable our success is making some people, #Rebel Nation. You go to the responses and instantly you find the comments. It's notice how he didn't refute any of the claims. Kind of amazing how you're not refuting any of the claims. When you comment publicly for the first time.
No, you're right. That's what jumped out at me. I didn't know what the comments were going to be, but I'm like, you focused on the success of the Ole Miss program rather than the actual accusations.
Now, you can't go making comments about everything
you can't,
in the world. But
I would think your initial response would be, we stand by our black students or African American, however you want to word it. I mean, to calling our entire state racist is beyond the pale. I mean, something like that. Not, look how good we've been in football and how pissed off people are about it.
Kind of amazing how uncomfortable our success is. It's one of those we're not commenting. When you comment, it needs to be about, the business that you're involved in. You're basically responding to the comments about Lane Kiffin with the success, how uncomfortable our success is making some people. And by the way, in this situation, I would stay away from the phrase "some people."
Well, look, I honestly think the more you dissect this, and I know he shit on the university and the entire state, but I don't think that was his intention. I really don't. I think it was all about Lane Kiffin, which everything is. The guy's a sociopath. And I think it was about, how can I clean up my image? I had my image going in a good direction. The way I left wasn't good. Everybody's piling on. I've got to come up with some excuses on why I thought LSU would be a better fit.
And what a better way than to say, my hands were tied. Right. But I also think, Lance, part B of that is...
would you say it was more about taking a shot at Ole Miss or about trying to better his image?
I think it was one, better his image. 1A, just below that, take the legs out from under a recruiting rival. And then 2, take a shot at a former employer. I think it was in that order.
Yeah, I would say not necessarily directed at Ole Miss, but to try to help with all future recruitment of the black athlete to Baton Rouge. I think not necessarily him beating Ole Miss, but him trumpeting what I'm able to do, the diversity we have at LSU, could help him with, his battles with Georgia or Texas or.
I hate the race baiting altogether. The Jamel Hills of the world, they drive me crazy. And for Lane Kiffin, a white male that is making $13 million a year to drag this up when there probably is nothing to it is really disturbing.
For years and years and years, when the people he was coaching, black and white, were not getting paid to play the sport other than an education and cost of living.
Yeah, if you want to talk about exploiting athletes back then, but it's a different world altogether.
Yeah.
And again, maybe I'm naive. Look, racism definitely exists, but I think things have gotten a lot better. I think we've got more division in other things. I think politics has overtaken race, is it not? Or am I completely crazy there?
That's right.
No.
What day of the
I'm
week
just talking about pure division.
No, I would say that there is more division in our country right now over red and blue than it is black and white.
Yeah, like even some old school redneck that maybe had, racial tendencies back in the day. If you're like, okay, I'm going to put you in a room, and let's just call him a Republican. I'm going to put you in a room with a black Republican, or I'm going to put you in the room with a white
Democrat.
Yeah, Democrat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think it feels like politics are more divisive right now than race.
Oh, I think it probably is to that point, yeah.
John Sumrall, head coach at Florida 18 minutes ago. Why not get involved?
Yeah, let's jump right into this.
Yeah, I would advise John not to do this, but he did it anyway. Off of the Steve Sarkisian on Ole Miss transfer portal practices at Texas, we will only take 50% of the players' academic credit hours. And you can go to Ole Miss in basket weaving and get a degree. John Sumrall says, grateful to coach at a top 10 public university that also offers advanced basket weaving. John Sumrall.
I mean, Florida's academics are really good. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why Coach did this one.
Yeah,
I'm not sure Florida's administration is going to look at that and chuckle.
Yeah, it's just not needed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the joke, and I love that Coach has a good sense of humor about it. But do you think the
well, I mean,
do we all have the gator emoji available, by the way?
That's a good question.
We do.
Okay.
I don't know if it's that one.
That one looks different, but
yeah,
I'm just saying,
mine's sort of a flat gator.
Yeah. Do you think the uppity ups at Florida administration are going to look at that and go, that's a good one, Coach?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we're a top 10 public university, but we also offer basket weaving.
Advanced basket weaving.
Yeah. All right, trash time.
Was that ever a course, by the way?
Oh, I think you can still take, I mean, it's not called basket weaving, but there are art classes.
I've always heard the joke as underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
As just like a fill-in for like
and by the way, that seems really difficult. It seems difficult.
Makes it more difficult,
it would be. That would be a hard skill to learn.
No doubt.
My ass couldn't weave a basket above top side.
Yeah.
Go for a media studies degree, and all of a sudden, families start saying you're going for basket weaving.
I know. I've heard that.
Hey, before we get to trash, the show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Brown, you playing today?
Maybe eventually. I got my annual physical today. So if the doctor clears me to continue playing golf, there's a chance I'll play this afternoon.
Do you think it'll be healthy as a horse?
I hope so, Lance. I hope so.
Well, that'll continue your path to the Inverness Country Club to take advantage of that incredible grill, newly renovated clubhouse and dining. Best days happen at the Inverness Country Clubs, and they've got memberships that fit everyone. Maybe the wife plays tennis. Maybe the wife plays golf. Great for the entire family. You can take advantage of the pool this summer. Also, childcare on site is a massive plus. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe. Huge plus right there at the Inverness Country Club. State-of-the-art fitness center as well. For more information on the entire club, ICCalabama.com. That is ICCalabama.com.
From AI, the robot, basket weaving is usually taught at a lot of universities in art departments, sometimes under fibers, textiles, fine arts. At art design schools, it can be a major, like at fibers and textiles at Rhode Island School of Design or Arizona State University.
Oh, Arizona State's got basket weaving.
And they've got basket weaving at the University of Arizona under Indigenous Studies. So it is a real college class. That
very heavy in Arizona, by the way.
That gets us to trash today. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Hit it, Tyler.
movie.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. We start first. I don't know if you guys saw the movie The Rip. I was expecting a little bit more from the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck Netflix original that came out a few months ago. But it looks like they are being sued over their portrayal in The Rip. Written and directed by Joe Carnahan, The Rip is a tale of corruption and betrayal within the Miami-Dade Police Department. Netflix film stars producers Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, a pair of Miami detectives who discover $20 million, cartel cash in a safe house. Now, the story is believed to have been inspired by real-life cops Jason Smith and Jonathan Santana, and specifically their seizure of more than $21 million in June of 2016. According to Entertainment Weekly, which has seen the same complaint, the officers say that while they aren't mentioned by name in the film, they are so clearly associated with the story that it's caused, quote, substantial harm to their personal and professional reputations.
I don't know about that.
Now, Smith and Santana have brought a claim for intentional infliction of emotional stress. They claim that the film's use of unique, non-generic details of the June 2016 investigation, combined with its Miami-Dade setting and the portrayal of a narcotics team, create a reasonable inference that officers depicted are the plaintiffs. I mean, I didn't know anything. I didn't know it was based on a true story.
I had no idea it was either. I've never
But I
seen
guess
the movie
if
either, so
other
what do I
people
know?
on the force believe, hey, these are YouTube.
Yeah.
I would think maybe because of the way that, I don't want to tell you how the film ends if anybody's going to watch it, but like the way they're portrayed, I would think maybe these guys would think it's kind of cool that you have two major actors portraying them. Wouldn't you think that?
Seems like a money grab to me.
Yeah.
It does.
It's definitely a money grab.
Yeah. Let's try and get some of that Netflix money. That
Because-
Netflix and Ben Affleck money, whew, it's a
I mean,
good pot.
Law and Order, they always said at the beginning, these are ripped from the headlines, but
And boy, they were.
Yeah, they were exactly headline stories.
Yeah,
And
you were out last week when I was talking about the pit, like, because we had a story in Trash where a guy put a machete in the head, and I was like, and he walked in and he had the machete actually coming out of his head.
It's
I was
a
like,
crazy
we'll see
photo.
this on
There's
the
a
pit
photo
next
of
year.
it. Yeah, and Lance's like, this will be on the pit. Because they got to be out of ideas on the pit. I mean, we've done just about everything, I think.
Well, I said this. I went back and watched first 3 episodes now of the original ER, and some of the cases have already
The
duplicated.
pit's used?
Yeah, the pit's used in 2 years. Some of the first 3 episodes, like the sunburned lady.
Yep.
There was one of those in the very first episode of ER.
Yeah. I think that was Noah Wiley's actual wife that played that character.
Maybe
the
so.
sunburned lady.
Maybe so.
And
I think
then
you're right.
The lady
you read that recently?
Yeah. The lady that had her eye glued shut, I don't know if y'all remember that one, is the wife of the doctor that had the drug issue.
That's right.
They're
And he's
using
treating-
their spouses.
He's actually treating her.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably, a cheap way to bring a walk on and you don't have to really
That's right.
pay them
Yeah,
anything.
we don't have to pay her. She's good.
28-year-old woman accused of pretending to be a teenager and enrolling in a New York City high school was reportedly caught after the school principal found her Facebook account.
Uh-oh.
Now, Casey Klassen allegedly attended the Westchester Square Academy in the Bronx for around 2 weeks under the fake name Samara Rashad, according to the criminal complaint. Klassen reportedly enrolled April 13th, claiming she was a 16-year-old girl who recently moved to New York from Ohio with her sister. She was even issued a school ID under the fake name and age. However, the scheme started to fall apart when the principal grew suspicious and found a Facebook page that allegedly showed her real identity. According to Vice, the account listed Klassen's real date as July 29, 1997, and included photos of her holding a baby.
Oh, no.
At least one post also reportedly mentioned her having a daughter.
So she's how old?
She is 28.
I mean, she could pass, even
Yeah.
at 28, she could pass for 17, 18, yeah.
Klassen allegedly told authorities that a friend had pushed her into the scheme so they could collect more public assistance money from the city. I didn't realize this was a money grab. I thought maybe this is more of an adventure. I remember reading an article in LA Weekly back in the 90s of a girl that went undercover into one of the Los Angeles high schools to
a
bust
reporter.
a narcotics ring.
Wasn't there a TV and a movie about that?
Jump Street?
Yeah.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, originally the show with Johnny Depp and then the movie with Jonah Hill and
Yeah.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah,
Funny
so,
movie.
So obvious those kids walking through the hallways were not high school kids. So
I mean, they even said it to Channing Tatum. What are you, like 25?
Are you a narc?
Have you seen that movie?
I have not, no.
Oh, it's really, really funny. Well done.
One of the few comedy movies with a sequel that's just as good as the original.
I would agree. Yeah, I think you guys would really enjoy 21 Jump Street and the sequel. An argument on a cruise ship turned into a physical confrontation that ended with federal citations for 2 different women. Now, according to the FBI interview summaries filed in federal court, the fight started over a dispute about whether a couple was standing in the correct line. Investigators say the incident unfolded in March as the Carnival Spirit returned from the Bahamas. According to the FBI interview summaries, the trouble started when Tanya Nelson confronted Lisa Horace and her husband while they were in line to settle their cruise account. Court records say Nelson told investigators she was trying to be helpful to the couple behind her and told them they were in the wrong line, pointing to a sign that showed it was for Diamond and Platinum members.
Oh, you're not Diamond or Platinum.
In her statement to federal agents, Horace said she ignored Nelson at first, but the encounter escalated when Nelson touched Horace's husband's shoulder multiple times. Documents say the two got into a heated argument. Horace told agents Nelson threatened to slap her first, and she slapped Nelson back. From there, the fight escalated. Horace told agents Nelson tried to kick her as crew members moved in. Nelson told investigators Horace jumped on her back. Federal court records say Carnival staff had to intervene as the struggle played out in front of several bystanders and staff. Records say Nelson told agents she had previously been embarrassed while standing in the wrong line on cruises. Said she thought she was trying to be helpful when she first spoke up. Don't believe that.
I wonder how she knew they weren't Diamond and Platinum members, though. Like, if I say,
looking them up and down.
Excuse me, you're in the wrong line. You can't be Diamond and Platinum. Look at you. I mean, how would you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, are you just judging book by cover and saying, no way they could be Diamond and Platinum members?
Yeah, you'd have to at that point.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the latest, what is the virus that's
Hanta virus. The Hanta? Is that how they say it?
It's not doing any good for the cruises, is it?
No, that was bad for them because it starts with rat feces, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, most likely
rat shit on their TV dinner.
Yeah, something like that.
Most likely, all these people went on an excursion on the island and came in contact with it that way.
Oh, off the boat. Yeah, that could be true. But you're right. You just assume it was on the boat, don't you?
Yeah.
My wife works in healthcare, and they've been talking about apparently you can carry this thing for up to 3 weeks before symptoms show, and they were saying that they did kind of what you did on the back end of the cruise, Lance, but on the front end. So it's a Dutch couple that was excursioning around the country before actually getting on the boat.
Yeah. Tell you, I'm about 3 weeks out, and I feel like shit. So
I don't think Stuffy knows is one.
Well, this was in South America, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you said Dutch couple. I mean, I don't know. Where's the origination?
Good news is it's not super contagious like through the air.
Yeah.
Well, they rolled them all to Nebraska, didn't they?
Yeah, they got to get them under control.
Yeah, most people, the belief is still it doesn't jump human to human.
Yeah, it's feces and blood and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've yet to prove that it's airborne or human to human.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Is that a prediction?
Don't say that kind of stuff, Tyler.
That's the last thing we need right now.
I don't want it to happen either.
Well, I would hope not. I hope nobody wants it.
I think we're just all very hypersensitive because we're not very far removed.
Understandably, yeah.
TikToker has come under fire after claiming she used ChatGPT to get a refund on her DoorDash order, with the food delivery app even responding to her. Despite there being plenty of options, ordering from a food delivery app is still laced with different dangers out there. You might end up with the wrong items or none at all in some cases, and you might even see balloons fly away if you order them on Mother's Day. We saw that story yesterday. Getting a refund for your lost or wrong items can also be a difficult task. Some apps require you submit proof, while others won't give you back the full amount that you've paid no matter the reason. TikToker Misunderstood, 5TOOD, has landed in hot water with social media users after she claimed to use ChatGPT to make the food look inedible and get a refund from DoorDash. The video, more than 4.2 million views. TikToker thanked ChatGPT for getting her a refund after she got some, quote, stone cold chicken in her order. She went on to say, shout out to ChatGPT, because who the F was they feeling like for getting my carrots and ranch and I paid extra for, and I had the nerve to send some cold ass chicken? Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean,
that is a fragmented sentence.
It is a fragmented sentence, but if she asked for carrots and celery and ranch and the chicken was cold, she's got a complaint.
Man,
here.
it is. I don't know
She's got
last
a
time.
complaint, but she shouldn't.
I'm not saying she should have done what she did, but I'm saying she's got a legitimate complaint.
I don't know the last time you guys did DoorDash, but how quickly, like the amounts, how expensive that shit is nuts.
You know,
like for two, it's over $50.
So when you order DoorDash, like even if you're just ordering a pickup, the actual items on DoorDash's version of that restaurant's menu, 30% markup per item.
And that's what it is, 30?
Yeah, and that's just ordering. Then you've got the delivery fees. Then you've got
which has changed because of gas prices.
Yes, even though the drivers still see pretty much none of the delivery fee. You've got tip. You've got the small order fee if you just want a couple of items. You got the large order fee if you want a lot of items. So they just try to make the price go up as much as possible.
I am the only one in my family that can say this, but I have never eaten a meal from DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything that's delivered right there. Never. Yeah.
It happens occasionally at my house, but I will tell you, it happens without my knowing.
Yeah.
Because when I'm there and they're like, "Hey, Dad, we're DoorDashing from,
fill-in restaurant.
Fill-in restaurant." I'm like, "There's one that is 800 yards this way.
I'll drive.
And there's one that's, and I don't like standing in their line either and telling them whether I want black beans or pinto beans either.
Oh, yeah, we've gone through this. You get it delivered with guac and extra
No,
queso?
I don't.
Yeah.
My son has ordered it before, but now anytime I hear them starting to work up an order in the house, I'm like, you guys place the order. I'll just go through that very convenient drive-through window.
Wow, so they use your credit card and they send your ass.
They don't send me.
Because there used to be you fly out by.
I volunteer to go get it because it saves twice as much money.
Has this affected the
30%
pizza
markup per item, though?
The pizza delivery has not been affected at all, right?
I mean, if you're ordering directly from the pizza place, but a lot of those pizza places,
But I mean, use DoorDash.
They outsource
they
their
outsource.
personal delivery to a third party.
That's right.
That's all I got.
Times have changed, man. It's different. Different.
Everything's expensive.
Yep. That's the show today. We're back with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. In studio or on location, Brandon?
Trending towards in studio. There's a chance we'll be out at Greystone with our friends at Hoover Toyota, but a couple hurdles to jump there. But we're trending towards in studio.
Yeah.
But we're still going to hang out with them tomorrow.
Yeah, or maybe I'm in studio and these guys are out there on the golf course. We'll figure something out. But our show tomorrow live at 9 a.m. Central Time. Brought to you in part by our friends at Hoover Toyota as they do their big annual golf tournament tomorrow at Greystone, and we'll be glad to be a part of that. We look forward to that. And don't forget, a new Next Reel is out tomorrow as well.
Yes.
You guys are about to sit down and record it now?
Not now, but we are recording it later today.
Yeah, later today. Meeting and then recording Next Reel.
Okay. And
but
then
I do have a selection of content from TNR clips for you to go watch today. And there will be a new episode of Mick and Jake's Last Call out very shortly. Finishing up the thumbnail now. And don't forget to enter that TNR Clips contest by subscribing and sending me a screenshot at tyler@nextroundlive.com.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't watch the TNR clips because it's all in the thumbnail. I just read the thumbnails.
I know what's in it.
It's my morning reading every day. I'm just like, I read the thumbnails. I'm like, it is the most comprehensive thumbnails in the history of media.
Plus, I was in the clip, so I already know what's been said, right? Yes.
But some of those thumbnails are they're like magazines. I'm like, it's like Mad Magazine back in the day. Let me see. Oh, I can read 3 or 4 things. They're fantastic.
But for the people who weren't here when that
That's
clip
right.
was filmed,
That's
they
who it's
should
for.
go and watch
100%.
immediately.
Watch all of them multiple times.
Yeah, there you go.
And just the thumbnail teams. Unbelievable thumbnails. Look at those thumbnails.
They look good.
Yep. Massive thumbnails. It's almost a hand nail. It's not just a thumbnail. And don't forget the OG kickoff with Connor O'Gara and company. And, of course, Mick and Jake and The Last Call on all the platforms for you there. And don't forget, am I supposed to say Spotify only? Spotify. Go check out the folks at Spotify as well.
That's our lead here. It's the leader in the clubhouse right now, Spotify.
It's the best podcasting platform you can find.
I agree.
They got video and audio. Go check them out.
So go check us out on Spotify, I'm supposed to say. All that at Next Round Live, Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.